All right, you did it to us. This is it forever. This is the last show of March 2022. That's our promise to you.
Okay.
Do you have any promises to make? I think it's time. I think it's time to make wild declarations.
Wild declarations that we're gonna keep.
Yeah. What's yours? Just throw. We're blue sky in here. No wrong answers.
I promise that at the end of the 7th hour, I'm still gonna have enough energy to talk about the movie we're talking about.
Ooh, that's a fun one. I'm gonna finish my coffee.
Good thing I've already had a coffee with espresso, and now I've got an energy drink, and I have to work at 5:45 tomorrow morning, so I might not sleep.
All good
I might
stuff.
not sleep.
All right, let's say stuff at the beginning when some people are listening to it, and not at the end when no people are listening to it.
When only 5 people are listening.
When
to
we've
the
whittled it
very
down
end.
to the both most devoted and stupidest listeners.
You idiots. You stupid bitch. You're as dumb as a dog.
So let's, at the top of this, say thanks for making this project more successful than we actually wanted it to be. Not more than we thought. More than was comfortable for us.
I remember having the discussion about whether or not we were going to do it again, and we were like, if it is like, is 20 too little? Like, should we ask for more? And we're like, no, because if we get even a few more people than we had last time, we'll still do great.
Yeah.
And then after, I don't know, the first week of the first episode that we announced it, and you were like, oh, we're at 22 movies.
We have a lot.
I was like, oh, shit. And that was 1 week.
Yeah. Between this and the Oscars, I have watched 53 movies in the last month.
Is that a world record for you?
I think it's a world record for the world.
No.
Yeah.
I've watched like 84 movies in a month during COVID.
Yeah, you had some
like
strong COVID
April or no, like May or June 2020
You're putting up numbers.
was like 80s both months, because that's all I had to do.
That's true.
Video games and movies.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was gonna say, it's pretty impressive that you watched 84 movies and also found the time to become a professional gamer.
Yeah, that is true.
An esports superstar.
An e-tard.
An e-tard.
I've worked with a lot of e-tards in my life.
So thank you for this.
Muchos gracias.
Yeah, we made a bit of money doing this. Drew's getting the surgery.
Yeah. Scott can't afford the surgery because he's a size queen and they haven't designed it big enough yet.
They can only do it in a medium. I have to wait for XL.
I want an XL, but
it's a real Mr. Burns stab wounds situation. We're up to 14.
We're up to 7 inches. Get back to me when we're at 9.5.
Yeah, so Drew's getting it first. So congratulations to Drew. I'm not jealous at all. That this isn't going to cause a rift in the friendship. We're definitely going to be cool afterwards. If we didn't get it at the same time, that would probably be it, right?
Yeah.
Like if one of us got it first, I can't see. Could the friendship survive?
Well, all doors would open for the one who got the surgery.
Yeah.
And they would just become instantly famous.
Yeah.
And would not need the other one.
I don't need no new friends. I don't need no old friends.
I don't need no old friends.
I guess I do need new friends.
Now I get to meet all of the other sexy human animal hybrids and get to have sex with them. I don't have to talk to you anymore.
That's true.
I don't have to look at your dumb face.
What am I wasting my time with this shit for? Yeah, I guess that's what you do. I would just be supportive of you, but that's fine. Anyway.
I don't believe that for a second. I'm going to become TikTok famous.
The most famous.
The most
famous you can be.
I'm going to be an influencer.
So thank you to Tom, Eve, Yummy Child, Deja /Dianite, an anonymous donor whose initials are not TH, Chairman Meow, Circles Forever, Mo, Steven Cruz, New Mexico, Scott Henson, driving around in my Dreep Gan Cherokee. I have a brain injury. Dylan and Derek, Uncle Eric, those rhyme. Nick S, Leo Larkin, Landon, Ramiro, Brock B, Dead Sane, Antifa Catboy, and double thank you for doing the timestamps on the YouTube episodes. One more today and tomorrow, and then you're off the hook until I make you do more things. Condex, Page, Carl, who has instructed me to call him by my name, so Scott, Andrew C, Zachary, James B, and Cody A. What's that? Cody A? I haven't heard his name mentioned up to now. That's because Cody A took us up on the latecomers offer and will be discussed later. So get excited about that. Don't worry. It delivers.
Just don't feel bad about coming late.
Never feel bad about coming late.
That's got to happen, right? Like you have sex, but it doesn't happen.
A post-mature
and then later,
ejaculator?
that has to happen, right? That like you have sex, it's not working for you. You stop, you go to bed with a limp penis, and then you just come.
Whoops!
Right?
I like that.
That has to happen.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to craft a premature ejaculator joke, but it's just about fucking kids because they're premature. I'll get there.
Don't worry, we're gonna get there.
Give me like half an hour.
We're gonna get there.
What else is going on? So I've watched a lot of movies lately, and I'm tired of movies. I'm never gonna watch another movie. I've got 12 hours of Law and Order just waiting there.
Yep.
And post Oscars, oh boy. Don't worry, I will not be post mature ejaculating for Law and Order. It'll be right on time.
Right on time.
But it'll be exciting to watch something that I've decided to watch, because that hasn't happened for a month. Not that your picks weren't good. Some were, and some definitely weren't. We got a couple call outs today, I believe.
Probably.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to imitate you masturbating to Mariska Hargitay in her pantsuit, but yeah, you talked too long, and so the joke passed.
I'm sorry. And also, it's not even accurate. I'm a Sam Waterston man.
Oh, sorry. How dare I? Noted half-native Sam Waterston.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. He played a native in a movie once.
I don't know if that actually... I think that just makes him cool.
I guess.
I don't know if that makes him half native.
Oh, there's going to be some cool not playing your own race in this episode.
Oh, a little bit.
Our second part of this episode.
I would stick around.
Surprise, surprise. This is going to be a two-parter.
I would stick around for a late part two. If you're into not playing your own race.
No, end of this episode. Yeah, end of this episode. In 3 hours from now, you're going to hear us talking about... Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, definitely the end of part two as well. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I guess we get a double dose.
We do. Oh, yeah.
A double dose of darkening. That's not even the one I was thinking of, because that one just like... I know that's the whole movie.
That one just went in and out.
That one just went in and out, but there's another one, yeah. Actually, there's three.
Oh, my God.
There's three.
This is...
The very end. The last one also has a little bit of it.
Well, that's what I meant. The last one in part two.
The bonus movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also the movie that is literally about darkening your skin. And then a third thing.
Here's what's funny. I wasn't even thinking about that one.
Me neither. When you said the very... Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we
are dumb. This is our podcast. We get to make up the rules, This is
you and I's podcast.
This is you and I podcast.
But I also haven't had a night walk in 4 weeks, and I got a lot of pent up energy. I need to get out at night.
You got to do some Kevin Bacon dance walking.
Yes, I need. I need to be. Look, I need to be in the woods at night.
Okay,
that is what I need
with other gentlemen.
That does not seem pertinent. To the point.
If they're there, they're there. If not...
The senator is no longer fielding questions.
Okay.
The senator is now fielding baseballs.
Line drives or easy grounders?
Easy grounders.
Okay.
I mean, come on. He's a senator. He's 65 years old. He's white. He's Republican.
65 is I was
going to say, I'm
a little young.
Might be shooting low.
82, and he's playing third base.
A real Brooks Robinson.
Brooks Wheelan.
Short-lived SNL cast member.
Yeah.
I like it. A real Mark McKinney.
Brooks Jensen.
I'm more of a Josh Briggs man myself.
Gotcha.
Of the JB and BJ team. So stupid.
So stupid. And like obsessed with two girls kissing. Like no one's ever seen it in their entire life.
They're both they're both just virgins.
Yeah.
Or at least
they're
one
country
of them is.
boy virgins.
I don't really know. This is the section of the podcast where Scott and Drew speculate on NXT storylines.
NXT 2.0.
Pardon me, NXT 2.0 storylines that we haven't watched and have only
heard passing.
or briefly read about.
Yeah. Country boy virgins.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it.
I mean, I can relate to one, if not both of those.
Yeah, I'd check both boxes for you.
You'd call me a country boy and a virgin?
I'd call you a country boy and a virgin. Overalls, no penis.
No penis. It's an innie, not an outie.
Yeah, just a tough boy cutting down wood, calloused hands, and just doesn't even know what sex is.
You know...
What have you found? Is this breaking news?
I mean, it's not breaking.
Is this breaking news on the news? Give us a bit of news right now.
No, it's not news.
Right now.
I just wanted to talk about very, very, very quickly.
It's okay. We don't have anything else to do today.
Okay, then let's not talk about it.
No,
you cut me off. It's fine. I want to talk about how fucking lame big festivals are now. So, Lollapalooza used to be like grungy and like the sort of underground scene of alternative rock and a little bit of rap.
I mean, yeah, we had Sonic Youth. We had Cypress Hill. We had Peter Frampton. I'm literally just listing the ones on the sources.
Smashing Pumpkins. So they announced the lineup for this year's.
Katy Perry.
And it's headlined by Metallica.
Okay.
And the second
they did just put out a new album.
And the second headliner is Dua Lipa.
That's an interesting one, too.
And then J. Cole. And then Green Day.
Well, there's lots
and
going
then
on
Machine
here.
Gun Kelly. And then Lil Baby. And Kygo. And like that is such a random, just like
that's a bit of
pick an artist from most genres and let's put them at the same festival.
Who's free this weekend?
Who's going to see Metallica and also Lil Baby? What's the crossover? One guy, one neckbeard.
I'm Baby.
You're not Lil Baby though. You're just a baby.
I'm Lil Baby.
Also, apparently there will be special guests. Jane's Addiction. And then after that, I've heard of maybe one band. I do
like it after you get to
Big Sean.
There you go.
Charlie XCX.
All the big.
Cascade.
Okay.
And Denzel Curry. Is he allowed to do things? Didn't he do bad stuff? Didn't somebody get killed at his concert, or am I thinking it's somebody else?
No, Denzel Curry won an Oscar. And is a fabulous 3-point shooter.
Good. I'm glad you got.
What, you think you're not getting both?
I know what
do you think I'm doing over here?
You have a brain injury. And literally after that, Dashboard Confessional.
You know what? We're going to have to issue an emergency apology to Lollapalooza for talking shit about it, because now it rocks.
Yeah, but after that...
I don't care. I'm going for Dashboard.
Can I just read out some names that... Habstract, but spelled Habstrakt.
Oh, I hate it.
Kenny Hoopla, one word. Delwater Gap. Baby Tate. Alexander 23.
I hope you're throwing in some fake ones just to see if you can catch me slipping.
Tasha.
You won't.
TSHA.
Well, that's not enough vowels.
Duckworth, but with no R.
Duckworth?
Duck. WRTH.
So
Duckworth.
No O.
That's what I said.
You said with no R, and you confused.
Oh, sorry. I meant O. Petey. Petey will be there. Josiah. Kaycyy.
Nassim Pedrad.
Pom Pom Squad.
Hoops musical guest. Hoobastack.
Zookeeper. And
Brian Doyle Murray.
And
Julia Louia Gooley.
Drew's minor league hockey corner.
Oh.
What team is he on now? Los Angeles? Ontario Reign. Spelled Reign.
Obviously.
Because they're the Los Angeles Kings.
Oh.
Ontario, California, too. Not the province.
I thought everything wrong. Nope. You have surprised me at every turn.
Ontario Reign, goaltender, Garrett Sparks, whose DJ name is Bucky Cheds.
Cool. Is he at Lollapalooza?
And he's at Lollapalooza.
Sick.
He's DJing at Lollapalooza.
Wow.
But yeah, man, after that, I'd heard of 2 of the bottom 70 artists that I assume are mostly DJs.
Well, why would you hear about bottoms? That's just competition for you. You're just looking for tops.
Yeah, but because I'm non-penetrative. I'm not looking for anything. I'm looking to sleep.
I'm looking to have a nap.
I'm looking to sleep with my bare ass out.
With my ass out.
I'm not actually looking for anyone to be putting things in.
That is true. Yeah, so I guess you wouldn't know tops or bottoms. Nope. So you're the wrong person to ask about any of this.
I'm a lonely boy bottom. So are you.
Couple of LBBs. You know me. You want to talk about a pedophile movie?
I would love nothing more than to talk about the most notorious pedophile movie.
Now, from the man who brought you Cuties on an earlier podcast, now comes back strong with his second pick, Uncle Eric, friend of the show, possibly future sponsor.
Yeah, maybe. If it was up to him, which it might not be up to him, I guess.
Comes 1997's Lolita, the remake of the Stanley Kubrick film.
Mr. Kubrick.
Of the same name.
It is very, very ballsy to remake a movie by such a legendary filmmaker.
I'm thinking about doing 2002 A Space Odyssey. A Spacer Odyssey. It's also very ballsy to do a remake of a movie and then admit out loud, this is the second movie that's a remake of an original that I had only seen the remake of along. Yes.
Can you name the other one? I've since seen both of the other two.
Yeah.
The originals. But I hadn't seen them. I'd only seen the remakes.
Yeah. I probably would be, I'm going to say, Dan Fogelman's Life Itself.
Is a remake of what?
It's a remake of Stanley Kubrick's Life Itself, 1972.
Ah, of course. Gus Van Sant's Psycho. I had only ever seen that version of Psycho.
Vince Vaughn is the best Norman Bates.
He's the only Norman Bates for me.
Vince Vaughn. If I was going to say Vince McMahon. Vince Vaughn, the original Norman Bates.
Original Norman Bates. And I'd only ever seen this Lolita because I think it was on Showcase in 98 or 99.
Sure.
And it taught me a lot. As a 12-year-old, I was very confused by this.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see having questions.
Yeah. Now here's
this movie.
Here's my shameful admittance, but also a very comical story that happened with this.
Okay.
So Lolita obviously is well known for its context.
Yeah. Good book.
In Coquitlam, the city I grew up in, brag, there was a person who was clearly running their own photography studio out of their garage, their closed off garage.
Always chill.
And we would always drive by and I would always look at it. And the name of the photography studio was Bonita Video. But I would always associate Bonita with Lolita. So I was like, wait, there's a guy taking photos of underage girls in his garage and everyone's okay with it?
I mean, there is, like, that's definitely happening. I don't know about everyone being okay with
Jeffrey
it.
Jones, and it's little boys, and it's for art. And he didn't even really get in that much trouble for it.
No, he got to come back.
No. He gets to do...
He's my favorite actor.
I think he just directs plays now.
I
think he's the director of the National Children's Orchestra or something.
I don't know if that's true.
Scott, there was nothing sexual about it. He was painting...
It was art.
Children who happened to be naked.
I mean, I don't find a hole in your theory.
What, fucking Anna Wintour puts them in a watermelon and that's art, but Jeffrey Jones can't draw a nice, beautiful painting of one? There's nothing sexual about it. He's not getting a boner. They don't have a boner.
I don't think it's Anna Wintour.
I don't know. I couldn't think of the name.
Is it Annie Leibovitz?
Yeah, it's Annie Leibovitz, I think.
Or no, she's just like the Rolling Stone photographer. Who's the bitch with the babies? Now I gotta do research. This wasn't part of the deal.
No, that's your stat boy.
Motherfucker.
Stat boy. 1997's Lolita.
Okay. Let's test you out, Google. Bitch who takes pictures of babies. All right?
This is a
test.
Very questionable search history. Enter.
No, the bitch really throws it off. Now, let's change bitch to woman and see what we get.
Woman.
Ann Geddes, right there.
Ann Geddes.
So, by the transitive property, Ann Geddes, not a bitch.
Not a bitch. Google says not a bitch.
We found one. We found the first woman who's not a bitch. Ann Geddes.
Speaking of women who are bitches, Melanie Griffith in this movie sucks. She's got the most annoying, dumb voice.
Hate her.
I hate her. Except for when she's getting mauled by cats. Then I love her.
Then cool.
Yeah, when she's getting severely scalped by a lion. That I don't know how we haven't done an entire episode on that movie.
It is crazy we haven't devoted a good deal of time to Roar 1981.
80?
81?
81?
Yeah. Because that was, and will remain the most important movie we've ever seen.
It is the greatest first-time viewing experience of my life.
Yeah.
Seeing it at the Rio.
I'm so glad we saw it in the theater.
You, Dan, and Kelly.
Yeah.
And it was the greatest experience. Because I knew almost nothing about it going in. I knew it had big cats. Yeah. And it was like a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I was not prepared for the sheer amount and the fact that none of them are trained. And the guy who's the main actor is the quote-unquote trainer of the animals.
Yeah.
And, that movie. Good. Stop listening to this podcast. You know what? Never listen to this podcast again and go watch Roar.
Every time you think maybe I'll go listen to the podcast, just watch Roar again.
Roar. And it's better than this podcast. Yeah. It's better than And I love showing that movie to people for the first time. I had a viewing of it at the school when I taught there with my friend who was the directing instructor, his TA, and Jordan, and none of them had seen it before, and they could not stop they were asking a million questions.
As they should be. It raises a lot of questions. Yeah. How did this possibly get
lions, tigers, panthers, jaguars, elephants, lynx, everything.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's insane. Just people getting hurt for real, left and right. Scalpings,
broken legs,
old women breaking their legs.
Yeah, it's the best. You know what else was the best? This movie. So we got
one of the first lines in the movie is which sort of just explains him being a pedophile for the rest of the movie, which is weird.
As if he needs an explanation.
I was gonna say you could have just said he was cool. They say whatever happens to a boy during the summer he's 14 can mark him for life. Nice. And then I'm like, huh. Was I raped by a tiger when I was 14?
Oh, interesting.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
I mean, it's still on topic. My friend Zach went on a cruise when he was 15.
Yeah.
And got statutory raped by like a 40-year-old French woman.
Sick.
Like she actively pursued him, and that's how he lost his virginity. And he said like she smelled like cigarettes. She wasn't like really that attractive.
Yeah.
But she like found him, pursued him, took him back to her room, and fucking raped him. And that, I think, has affected him his entire fucking life. I know he's not going to listen to this, so it's fine that I called him out.
And when they say that, I'm like, so wait, they're going to excuse this guy being a pedophile. Like the reason is that he got 14-year-old pussy when he was 14, and then nothing could ever be better. Also, I kind of thought they were going to show 14-year-old pussy in the first scene, but they did not.
No, no, they did not. I literally, like, because you just said it, like, my first thing is, like, if Jeremy Irons is cool with gay incest, because he's the gay incest correspondent of this podcast.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't he be cool with statutory rape? I mean, they go hand in hand.
Jeremy Irons is nothing if not consistent.
Very consistent.
So I'll give him that.
Yeah. So the story is kind of told, it's voiced over by Jeremy Irons as if he's giving his statement to a jury.
He's the hero.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, the record scratch. Yep. That's me.
Suppose you're wondering how I got
here. Well, I tasted the sweet nectar and I couldn't stop drinking. So yeah, it's a voiceover of him as he's driving in a car you can see a little bit of blood splatter on his face.
And driving somewhat erratically.
Yeah. And he's got a little bit of blood splatter on his face, and he's sort of describing his journey to this point, but it's not his entire life.
Yeah.
So like it starts off in the 1920s.
Yeah.
When he's a younger man. Mm-hmm. And it's that part isn't really as important to the story, but it's just showing like excuse me. I burped away.
No, you're professional.
I'm professional. What, am I supposed to mute the mic to burp in mid-talk and then burp and then go back to my conversation?
Who's got the time?
Who? Mine's not touch like yours. Mine's a button.
Boop. Boop.
Exactly.
That was an on and off.
Doesn't work. Mine's not a bopper.
You got to get a bopper.
Anyways, so yeah, the beginning is he's at a train station.
Yeah.
And he's pursuing a woman. I don't even remember the very beginning. Woman. Yeah, a girl woman.
Blondish Jeremy Irons is weird.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for it.
Lighter haired. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think any of that's really that important. Yeah. No, so we get to modern day now, and that was in England. Now he's in New England.
Yes.
Where he's begun to, I think he's like... he's
got some sort of professorship.
He's got a professorship, and he's looking for a place to stay.
Yeah.
And he meets Melanie Griffith, who's like a boarder.
Yeah.
Not a border collie. That would be rad.
That's an interesting movie.
But she's a boarder. And he's going to stay at her place, and then there is like... this has to be the most sexualized introduction of a teenage girl in the history of cinema.
Also, one, it is incredibly sexualized. Two, the first shot of Lolita, because she's like lying on the grass.
In like a wet sundress.
Yeah, and it looks like the sprinkler is shooting directly out of her ass.
Yeah. It really does.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So like as soon as he sees her, he's like, oh, I'm going to fuck that child. Immediately. Like
not a moment
my
wasted.
note says, it really gets right into it, doesn't it? I thought it was a slower build.
No.
Like I thought it was like, yeah, maybe I'm not a pedo. Like I just
I know
love
what
women.
I am.
I just love women and of all ages and sizes.
No,
and
children.
And no, as soon as he gets there and she goes, oh, that's my daughter. And he turns and he's like, holy fuck.
Like eyes bulged out of his head. There you heard a big awooga car horn.
tongue comes out across the table,
out,
rolls
his head
back
turned
up.
into a wolf.
Yeah, it's the real like that's my child. That is
my child.
My child.
Dominique Swain was 16-ish when this was filmed.
Yeah,
dicey,
but I mean, you're an actor. You got to do what you got to do.
You're an actor.
If your boyfriend's the director and he wants you to give him a blowjob in the movie, you're gonna do it.
That's true.
I wrote. There's a lot of feet work in this.
There is some.
There's a lot of shots of her feet.
Yeah.
I wonder what the director is trying to tell us.
I didn't know this was a Tarantino movie.
Yeah. There's what did I say? Oh, okay, yeah. So he in theory he's like dating Melanie Griffith now, but he's very not interested in
very
her.
much a means to an end.
So he's like they're in a relationship, but they're not like married.
They do get married.
Not at the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do get married, but it's more, it is literally more of a, I need to stay in the life of the one I'm in love with, as opposed to, I don't know, just having sex with her and then going to prison.
Yeah. I wrote, marrying a girl's mom so you can fuck her is really an everybody wins situation.
Well, I guess. Maybe not the mom.
She gets a husband.
Yeah.
People stop calling her a spinster.
She gets a husband who wants to drug her so he doesn't have to have sex with her.
Okay, I love when... Okay, low-key, my favorite character in the movie is Jeremy Irons' doctor.
Yes. Yes. The doctor
This doctor fucking rocks. Jeremy Irons goes into the doctor's office.
And he's trying to be real coy
about
it.
He's like, what if I... Hypothetically.
Let's say I had a cow.
What if I wanted to knock a cow out for 8 hours? The doctor smiles when he says that. He's like, I got you, baby.
He smiles. He opens his drawer.
Yeah.
He just pulls out like pills and he goes, I give these to my wife. Like he immediately is like, this guy's in the same boat as me.
Everyone's just knocking out their wives in the 40s.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know why? Because women suck. Nagging and bitching at you all day, and then they want to have sex with you at night. Yuck.
I think he also described Melanie Griffith as a very elegantly worded. She was a great taker of pills.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Oh yeah. The next note I wrote is I love a straight pedophile that can't get it up for older women.
Yeah.
And then I also wrote drugging your wife so you don't have to fuck her is boss.
Yep. Absolutely.
Those are my notes.
Thanks, Doc.
So So the not only is Jeremy Irons into it, but Lolita or Lola is
Dolores
actually. Yeah. She's also into it. She has a book where it's like all of the classic hunks of Hollywood, and she's like fawning over all of the like handsome older men in movies. Yeah. So she is very much a part of this. It's not like he's just trying to get her to do it. Like she wants it bad.
Two-way street, baby.
Yeah. So after a while of them sort of like being flirtatious and stuff, but she's like acting out. And so the Melanie Griffith sends her away to a summer camp to get her out of the house. And but that makes Mr. Irons very sad. And but he's like, he understands obviously that like, he needs to stick this out so that when she comes back, he can like keep this going forward.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But unfortunately, Melanie Griffith finds his fuck diary, where he calls her like a battered old war cow who like he can't
Steven Spielberg's war cow.
Yeah, she's like an old hag that he has to put up with to get the sweet juices of young pussy.
Fuck my disgusting hedgehog of a wife till her sweet nubile daughter comes home.
Yeah, but what I wrote was she's pretty cool about reading his fuck diary about wanting to have sex with her underage daughter.
Yeah.
And the only thing she's upset about is that he called her a miserable old cow.
Yeah, no, the pedophilia was not really a big issue.
No, it was the fact that she was an old cow. Yeah. It didn't have anything to do with...
He hurt her feelings. Yeah. He can fuck her daughter all he wants.
Yeah. And then I wrote, just like a woman to be over dramatic about something so minuscule as your husband wanting to fuck your underage daughter that she storms out of the house,
runs into traffic. Also runs into 40s traffic, which is one car.
A 40s traffic on a side street in the
on a
suburbs.
residential street. One car.
Where she just gets plastered.
Just gets nailed by a Model T.
By a Model T going 30.
Exactly. Yeah. By a car you have to start with a crank.
With no windshield. You gotta wear goggles. So she gets massacred by this car.
He doesn't get massacred.
And but before that, she's like written a quick note that she hands to him that he then immediately goes inside and burns. So there's no evidence. Yep. And then I wrote maybe my favorite note, which is the look of excitement and happiness on Jeremy Irons' face when he's driving to the camp to pick her up because he knows he can finally have sex with a child. Yeah. Is the best thing I've ever seen in cinema.
It's really good.
No one's ever been happier than him in that very moment.
No, I would kill to be that happy for 1 second.
I would love to enjoy something half as much as he's enjoying that drive to the summer camp.
Everyone should get to experience that joy once.
and I was so jelly.
Oh yeah. And then I think shortly after he picked her up, they is initially kind of nervous, and I think they got pulled over by a cop at some point, and
they speed away.
And
then they pull over to the side of the road so they can make out.
Yeah. And then a cop comes up, and I'm like, as if the police would pull over a white man for making out with a child in the 40s.
Yeah, it wouldn't even bat an eye.
No.
You know what? They wouldn't even be in their peripherals.
No.
They would drive slowly towards the car. White person, keep on.
Give him a thumbs up and keep driving.
Good job, champ. Keep it up. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So they're kind of... The idea is that he sells the house? Right? Because he inherits everything. Yeah. She says you can keep the house. Yeah. And then kills herself. And then I think it's implied that he sells the house and that's why they're traveling.
Hit the road.
Yeah. So they're just sort of driving around the Midwest and Southwest or South something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just wherever they are, and just kind of stopping at motels, hotels.
Holiday Inns.
Yeah. They're there for a little while. And that's when things start to sort of get a little more adventurous.
At some point, which I vehemently disagree with, someone referred to it as incest because he's her stepfather.
Right.
I'm like, okay, grow up. It is not incest. He wanted to fuck her first and be family second. It's only incest if it's the other way around. And Jeremy Irons, of all people, should know that.
That's true. He is the incest correspondent for this podcast. So who are you to argue with the man who has the most knowledge?
Exactly.
If you can't make an incest baby, then it's fine.
Absolutely. That's the rule.
So during their kind of travels, it sort of starts to become obvious to him that because he's in love with her and is sexually attracted to her.
Yeah.
But then it sort of becomes more obvious that she is still a child. She's not she's mature.
She's
annoying.
Acting really immature and annoying. And then suddenly the whole I'm fucking a child thing sinks in.
Yeah.
But he doesn't stop.
That does not.
That is what I so respect about it.
You got to commit to it. You've made your bed. Now you got to fuck in it.
I also liked when she was I don't know, unacceptable, honestly. She was jokingly saying, just when they were in the car at some point, I should call the police and tell them you raped me, you dirty old man. And he's like, ha ha ha, funny joke, ha ha ha.
Oh, wouldn't that be a laugh? Oh boy. Yeah.
I'd kill her.
It's like what we said last time is when we were talking about I don't know, the girls and cuties being when the guys in the laser tag thing, and then when they were like self-aware.
Yeah.
Like she's very much like I can
use this as a weapon.
Ruin your fucking life. Like you will be on death row tomorrow if I wanted you to be. So she's very aware of the circumstances.
Yeah.
But she's still into the daddy business. So for now, she's fine with it. So like during their travels, they go to like maybe a little bit more upscale place. Yeah. And while he's trying to check them in, she gets like distracted by a dog. So she goes to like pet this dog, and there's like a man in like a nice suit smoking. And Scott, I swear to God, I heard one syllable of the voice, and I was like, "That's Frank Langella." I was like, "Holy shit, Frank!" Like I knew it. He's got such a distinguishable voice, and I was like, "Oh, I'm liking that Frank is going to be the other guy."
A second pedophile enters the fight.
Yeah. A second just as handsome pedophile.
Yeah.
Old silverish hair, black mustache.
Yeah.
Frank Langella. Is that the note that I wrote? I wrote, as soon as I heard the voice, I knew it was Frank. But yeah, so they obviously like she's still like really acting out and stuff, but he's still committed to like she's hot. Like that's what he's thinking. Like
end of the day.
So I just wrote like, you know what, like as much as it escalated, the movie started out like, bam, I'm into this girl.
Yep.
Good for him for holding out as long as he did before anything like actually happened.
Yeah.
However, when it actually happened, it was way too sensual for me. Like I saw it and I was like, oh, I am glad I'm watching this alone, and because I feel really dirty and uncomfortable watching this.
Absolutely.
So she's reading the comics from the newspaper, but you only see her. She's got like a dress on, and you can only see her sort of from the waist up, and then it's like she's on a rocking chair. And then the camera like very subtly and very slowly pulls out a little bit. And then you see his hand come from below her, like up onto her leg. So she's obviously sitting on his lap. And then she starts to get into it. So she's reading comic books while riding his dick. And I felt so dirty.
I don't feel good.
I felt violently ill. But still, like, congratulations that you didn't just, like, you know, get in the car, pull over to the side of the road, do it. Right? Yeah. Like, he held out for a few towns.
No, he played the long game.
He made it more enjoyable.
It was worth it.
It was edging. I wrote, so much feet. Did Dan Schneider produce this? Because literally, like, she's seducing him with the feet. She's painting her nails.
Yeah, she's like an over the pants foot job.
She's like sitting with her legs like right at camera. Yeah, it's like obviously whoever directed this is a foot file. Oh, he's got his own login on WikiFeet.
Directed by Adrian Lin, and I can't confirm the foot thing. Well, I can by seeing this movie, but I can't confirm that Adrian Lin is a very sexual director.
What else has he directed? Taboo.
This, Fatal Attraction, Indecent Proposal, 9.5 Weeks. Okay. Like nothing but sex movies.
Yeah. Well, I guess
if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
I was going to say you write what you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, just like constant feet.
Yeah. And then kind of as time goes on, she gets less into it.
Yeah, she sort of realizes that like he's trying to be too controlling like her father, and that's not actually what she's into.
Yeah.
She's into having sex with old men.
That's correct.
She's not into like being told what to do.
Yeah. And then he sort of starts paying her for sex.
Yeah, a little bit. He starts giving her like change.
Yeah.
And I think it's so that he can go away and like just not deal with her, and she's like not stuck there without money. I think is sort of the idea. But it does appear as if he's paying a child for sex.
Yeah, but like, and
what is this, El Phantasmo in Southeast Asia?
Yikes. especially having to pay for it after you were getting it for free.
Yeah.
That's a worst case scenario.
That sucks.
That's awful.
That's like as bad as getting divorced.
That is as
You're
bad
still paying for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Child support.
Same-sex marriage. It's all the same sex.
So yeah, he also is kind of getting fed up with just her attitude, and they're getting into more like arguments, and she's just becoming more like erratic and kind of out of control. So he decides to put her into a boarding school for like artists, like talented artists of like dance and acting and whatever, and because he figures kind of like she's into movies and music, and so he'll put her in that, and that will distract her from like being crazy,
from being a bitch.
But when they went, I know it's not the answer, but when he first went to the university and he was talking to like the council, the deans or whatever about getting her in, I literally wrote, is his last name Himmler? Like, I swear to God, I heard them say Mr. Himmler, and I was like, wait a minute. Did he escape Nazi Germany?
Well, like that.
Now he's in the United States having sex with children?
No, his name is Humbert.
Humbert.
Yes.
Well, Humbert and Himmler are close enough to me.
That's his real name.
Yeah, I knew that afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah. I was like, Himmler? So yeah, he decides to put her in that school, and then he's been convinced that a police officer is following him, or a detective, because there's always the same car following them.
Car, he takes down the license plate.
He goes to a gas station, and when he goes in, somebody gets out of a car to talk to her at the car, and then by the time he comes out, they drive away.
Yeah,
and then
he's like, "Who's that?"
She's
like,
she's like, "There wasn't even anybody here." And
You're
she's like,
crazy.
No, she's like aggressively singing the radio at him, like not even acknowledging what he's trying to talk to her about. Yeah, because she's just a bitchy 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, well, 16 in real life, 14 in the movie.
Oh, sorry, 14. Yeah, sorry.
As God intended.
I wrote the note that this is kind of an anti or like a deterrent pedophile movie. If you think about it, because it's showing the downside of.
I was not deterred.
Okay, fair. But it's like showing you how like teenagers are awful.
Yeah,
young people suck.
Yeah, you don't want that. It's not worth it.
But I also wrote, pedophilia is a real get in, get out situation.
Yeah,
like it's got a short shelf life.
Yeah,
you get in, you do the statutory rape, and then you leave.
It's not for commitments.
No, you don't. You can't have a long lasting pedophilic relationship.
Don't marry a 14-year-old.
We'll talk to Jerry Lee Lewis.
I will.
And his great balls of fire. His balls were on fire because he needed to unload them in his cousin. In his underage cousin. So yeah, then they get into a fight. He hits her because she's being a bitch.
He hits her, and rightfully so.
And then she runs away.
Yeah.
And he like literally has no idea where she went.
Yeah.
And then he's getting letters from her. Is that do you have any other notes? I sort of just have the last two things.
Yeah, it might have been when he was looking for her. It might have been something a little earlier where he's looking for in a hospital.
Oh yeah, that was when she's sick.
Was earlier. That
was before she runs away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like sick and yeah.
Yeah, I just said I don't know if the best way to find the girl is to assault the entire hospital, because he was just like throwing nurses around.
Yeah, and he like beating up the doctor,
shaking the doctor by the collar. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna help you.
How is that gonna get your daughter bride back?
Yeah.
So yeah, she runs away from the hospital, and they're like, oh, she left with like this. Like very handsome other man, and he seemed very nice. He was very nice to all of us,
and he's like, "But I'm a handsome other man. Who's this other guy?"
But I'm her handsome older man.
Yeah.
So then it fast forwards 2 years.
Yeah, a couple years,
and he's getting letters in the mail from her that she's talking about. Like, I got married. I'm pregnant.
Have we had the Langella showdown yet or not?
That's at the end.
Okay,
that's after. So she's like, I'm pregnant and we're broke, and I would please like it if you would send me anything like $500 would be great.
How about some money?
But like $300 is fine, or $200, or literally anything you can send us. But
also, same for us. We're the Lolita in this situation, and you are all Jeremy Irons. Please send us $500.
Scott's pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
And we can't afford to live.
Send us $500 or even $300, $200. Really, anything's good. To paypal.me/NotScottHenson. Link in the YouTube description.
Every little bit you give us gets us new wrestling gear.
Yes.
So if you want to see us in shiny new gear.
If you want to see us even, I know, it sounds crazy, but even prettier, then you know what to do.
The prettiest boys on the internet. That's us. Don't look that up.
PB's on the... Yeah, don't look that
up. Don't contest us on that.
Also, if you're trying to find Ann Geddes, don't search for a bitch who takes pictures of babies.
Yeah, that's true. I did not adamant. I did not like her referring to him as daddy in the letters. Like, daddy, I'm like, if you could please give us any money. No. But it's not in the sexual context. No. It's in the you are my father context. Yeah. I hated that.
I also hate that.
That made me want to fucking puke.
The only time anyone should be calling anyone daddy is in the context of a trans prostitute.
Another trip to Europe, daddy.
Exactly.
That's it. Jim Norton?
That is the only daddy I will accept.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
This was gross. So he figures out while he's looking for her that she's with someone else, the same person. She finds his writing in every logbook of every hotel. Yeah. But it's always a different
it briefly turns into a detective movie where he's tracking her.
Yeah, and all of the names are like very classic Hollywood sounding names because the character is a screenplay writer or a stage director. Stage director, yeah.
Because he was directing her.
School's play. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He got the gig so that he could be a pedophile. Yeah. So he finds out that she originally had run away with Frank Langella's character.
Yeah. Who we really only saw that one time scene previously, but he's in the context of the movie been present like the whole time.
There was no detective following him. It was Frank. And Frank was the one that talked to her at the gas station. Pedophile. She was calling him on the phone. Yeah. At one point he came back to the hotel and she had was wet. Her lipstick was smeared.
She a wet little girl?
She had, her feet were dirty. And he was like, you went outside. And she was like, no, I just got up. And so he's like, who is it? Who are you? Who is it? So now he decides to take it upon himself that as her father, not as the man who initially was in love with her,
as daddy,
as Papa Humbert. He tracks down Frank, goes to his very expensive house. Yeah, where Frank is.
Yeah, it was like a crazy mansion.
It was a crazy mansion. Yeah. Where Frank is completely strung out on drugs and alcohol. Yeah, totally fucked up,
and is the biggest creep.
He's completely naked except for a robe. Yeah. He's kind of acting gay. He's feminine.
He does a weird thigh rub on Jeremy Irons. Yeah. But also he's a child pornographer.
I wrote that he's an OG Clinton crime family member. He invented the Clinton crime family.
Might have.
So
he might be the patriarch.
Jeremy pulls out a gun and pretty much tells him he's going to murder him. He's like, you're dead. Do you want to die sitting down or standing up? And then he's all like, oh, please, this is a hard question to answer. Oh my God. And then they have a grapple. They have a grapple on the floor where Frank's hanging dong.
Yeah.
I literally said, man, if I was a woman in the 90s or now,
I was a woman in the 90s.
I would love to be in a 90s Frank and Jeremy sandwich. Oh, those are two very hunky men.
Absolutely.
And they're rolling around on the floor.
Yeah.
I would love to be the Earl Hebner to their cat fight.
I would love to be the floor.
Yeah. So they roll around, they grapple for the gun, and then Jeremy gets it back, and Frank literally propositions him with listen, I know, like, I know I fucked up. Yeah. I took her away from you. But if you put this gun away, you can live here. You can have sex with whoever you want.
So much child pornography.
I can let you watch executions, like, that are off the books executions. You can literally do anything you want to do.
I want a whole movie about Frank's character.
Absolutely.
He seems fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, he could be the scary of 60.
He could be the scary of 61st.
He's kind of like an original, like, Epstein type character. Like,
very much.
He's obviously involved in all of this, like, underground sex trafficking.
I love him.
So yeah, they end up having this big fight, and then Frank escapes into, like, a piano room and just starts playing the piano.
It was cute.
He gets shot by Jeremy
like 10 times.
And then we see Frank's penis. Oh, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times. Like, there was one where he was running down the hallway, and it was just flopping.
Like
flopping around.
Yeah, he had a big flopper.
Bopping, like, good for him. Good for Frank. I like Frank a lot.
Yeah.
And his big dong.
He'll always be Skeletor to me.
He'll always be Skeletor. But yeah, so he ends up, he dies. And then that's sort of where the beginning of the movie was, the voiceover.
Yeah.
So the reason why he's driving sporadic and he's got the blood on him is because he shot Frank.
Yeah.
And then the police are chasing him. He drives into a field. They catch him. They arrest him. And then that's the end of the movie. Then you get, like, the post credits or the post movie.
Pretty important postscript too. P.S. They both died.
P.S. They
both died within 6 months.
Yeah. He died in prison of an aneurysm, and she died during childbirth.
Yeah.
Done.
Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I remembered a lot of this movie, but I obviously didn't see I don't think they showed Frank's penis. I think I would have been too young to see a naked man.
Yeah.
I mean,
when are you old
under
enough to
my
see
own
a naked man?
Choice. But yeah, and then I would like to revisit Kubrick's, because it's a very different movie.
Yeah.
It's got some similarities, but
I think there's less dong.
There's less dong. It's less sexual, I think. It's more like romantic.
It's a relationship.
Yeah, it's not just like young means good, I want to come.
It's no means yes, yes means anal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine chanting that with a group of guys on a college campus.
It was an airplane, wasn't it, or a bus?
Might have been a bus.
A bus?
Might have been a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I sort of, I sort of conflated that and Charlottesville.
Bunch of guys with torches walking down the street, chanting.
I honestly kind of did. I'm like, oh yeah, those are two different things. I mean, both were white guys.
Yes means anal. No means yes. Yes means anal.
Yeah.
White guys are so cool.
White guys are pretty cool.
I'm glad
undefeated.
I'm glad that we're both half white.
I'd re-up every year.
Year 2? I don't know what's going on there, but I'll get a table.
Absolutely.
I don't want to go in the future, though. I don't want to see what they do to us in the future.
Oh, no. We got it coming. But for now,
white all the way.
Sign it up. So that, of course, brings us to 2015's Home from Andrew C., who I went back and looked. I'm like, did Andrew recommend anything else? I'm like, no, just Home. That's the one movie that you wanted us to see.
You're the worst of the worst.
You might be a terrorist. Why would you choose for us to see Home?
Question, did you know that this movie existed?
No.
Okay.
Did not.
I only knew about it because I saw it on Netflix, like that it came up on Netflix.
Here's how little
you knew about it.
I knew about this. When Andrew's donation came in for this, it just said like Dreamworks Home bitches or something. And like those words didn't register to me. Right. And I didn't have him marked down as like a movie dono for a couple of weeks. Until I went back and went through. I'm like, he's talking about, he didn't just send me $20. Yeah. He's paying for a movie. And it's like,
Dreamworks Home bitches.
What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is Home? I mean, I can tell you what Home was.
Well, now I can tell you what Home
DreamWorks wanted to make a movie that was just a Rihanna soundtrack, so they did it.
Yep.
Because there's like, I don't know, 7 Rihanna songs in it, and she's the voice of the girl.
She's the voice. Yeah. So it starts right away. It starts right away. I'm like, oh, DreamWorks Animation, my favorite. And then about, I don't know, another 90 seconds in, I'm like, oh, B-tier DreamWorks Animation.
Yeah, not
my real favorite. Yeah. Not even high end for DreamWorks.
Yeah, you're getting the backups.
Yeah.
This is a real we're resting the starters situation.
Yeah.
We've already made the playoffs. There's 3 games left in the season.
Yeah.
Jordan's sitting. Scotty's sitting.
Third string is starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? It shows. it very much shows.
It shows.
But it got a theatrical release.
Yeah, it was in movie theaters.
So a B-tier DreamWorks movie. I guess okay, I'm just gonna say my first note is this is for retarded babies. It makes me want to hit Rihanna because she deserves it, and that's what it is. Any animated movie.
You're a Chris Brown type.
I'm a Chris Brown type. I got sick dance moves, and when I spin, I hit her. Kids movies are so awful that they don't have to be good and they make money and get a release. I don't think this made tons of money, but you don't even have to make a good one. No. You just have to make an animated one and it's getting a theatrical release. That is such a sick business idea for any director that just wants to make money. It's
beautiful.
Yeah, I'll do an animated movie. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's a real Takeshi Miike doing anime live action movies, romantic comedies, so that you can pay for your snuff porn.
2 for them, 1 for me, baby.
Yeah, he's the best.
The system works.
That's also the way that we describe my shirt, which is awesome. 2 for you, 1 for me. 2 for you, 1 for me.
Yeah. So okay. So are the aliens in this Chinese? Because they're literally speaking Chinese pidgin English.
It's like it was written in Mandarin.
Yeah. And
then translated to English, and then the American actors spoke in that version of English.
Yeah.
Because they had to read the script.
Yeah, it's Chinese pidgin without the Chinese accent.
Yeah.
He says, this is best day ever.
Yeah.
I mean, throw in the accent. This is best day ever. It's literally just Chinese pidgin.
Ha, you want me park your car?
You want me park your car? Nathan Fielder, terrorist.
Yeah, I mean, it really is that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's as if the script writers were Chinese. They wrote the script, and then when it got to the executives, they were like, oh, but we're going to fix these grammatical errors, right? They're like, no, this is how I write it. This is how I write it.
Fix the errors like saying grammatical. But yeah, it's what a weird choice for the aliens. They speak perfect American accent English, but the grammar is nonsense.
The grammar doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And it's like they're just intentionally leaving out every 5th word.
Yeah, they're just leaving out articles and stuff. They don't say the and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
which is I will say there is only one thing that got a very minor pop for me in this.
Did I write down anything I liked?
It's at the beginning, so if it's not an early note for you,
it's not.
I believe when he was going through the flavors of drinks or something that they could have, and one of them was Busta Lime, and I was like, you know what, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I like that one.
I think I meant to write that, and because all of the flavors were
puns on
like that,
names.
But puns. There were puns by the 40-year-old writers and not for the 5-year-olds who were watching. 5-year-olds in 2015 don't know who Busta Rhymes is.
5-year-olds in 2001 don't know who Busta Rhymes is.
Yeah. So
when he was at the peak of popularity.
Is that one of the cool jokes for the parents?
It's one of the parents' jokes because all the parents were alive in 2001.
Jesus.
But it did give me a very minor pop.
The one credit I gave it is that even in the movie, at least everyone also hates Jim Parsons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
Yeah.
We've got the most unlikable animated character of all time. Who are we going to get? Oh, I know, Sheldon.
What is the...
Young or old? Let's go old.
What is the perfect intersection of gay and autistic? Jim
Scott
Parsons.
Henson. Oh. I got you. I got you. I got you, bitch.
Damn it. Damn it.
I wrote, having the adorable characters talk like they're stupid is a great way to make kids learn.
Yeah.
Like, kids watch movies to learn, like, concepts or, like, big picture life things that you're like, oh, I shouldn't treat people different because blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't. But
my parents are going to die when I'm a baby.
If it's a Disney movie, yeah.
Every Disney movie.
But having them talk like they're completely retarded is...
Who's that helping?
Also, it's just so lazy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what's a funny thing we can do? I don't know, just not have them say the, like, every fifth or sixth word of a sentence and kind of sound dumb.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a really good idea. That's very unique and clever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this whole thing makes me mad.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of things. Mad and just confused because, like, so the aliens are the Jim Parsons aliens are running away from scary aliens, and they got ousted from their current planet, and so they find Earth. So they're just gonna colonize.
They're just gonna take over
Earth. So they do that and then leave like a cool like Indian reservation for humans,
like where we are right now.
Exactly. But I guess they missed Rihanna.
Rihanna, like, I don't hides
like,
or something
for how technologically advanced. Oh, do you have news?
The budget for this movie was $135 million.
That's a lot of money.
The box office, $386 million.
Smash it. Smash it. Where's the sequel? Where's Home 2? Homier. Home fries. Home slice. Home run derby. Derby Allen of AEW fame. How much more schizophrenic free associating?
Literally, like I said, you make any dumb fucking thing for kids.
Made the better part of $500 million. What's even the point? What are we doing? What are you and I doing right now?
You and I sex?
I guess we're doing you and I sex.
I know, we should make a bad kids movie, make $386 million, and then we can get the surgery multiple times.
Oh my god. Now that's good surgery money.
Yeah. Surgery, and then back to human, and then get the surgery again. Oh,
surgery, regret it?
No, not regret it, but just like refresh.
Okay.
Back to human, and then you get a better version of the surgery.
I like that.
Because getting the surgery and then getting a better version of the surgery on top of it is going to make you look like one of those awful women who has Botox. Because you're not working off of the original canvas anymore.
Yes.
You're working off of a double painted over canvas.
Exactly. So you go back.
You go back to regular. You have to live like that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until you recover.
And then even better.
And then you get like ultimate surgery.
I love it.
The ultimate surgery.
I'm into it.
Okay. It's the ultimate solution.
It is the ultimate solution.
How long do you think it took me to realize that the voice of the other guy was Steve Martin? Was it the whole movie?
I think it might have also been the whole movie for me.
Because I was like, kind of sounds familiar.
It sounds like someone.
But it could also just be nobody.
Yeah.
And then, fucking Steve Martin, who doesn't do a lot of movies, but chose this movie.
Home. I'm going to do a voice in a home.
Anyways.
Insane.
They're going to take over Earth. And he's like the wiener of the group that everybody kind of hates because he's annoying and dumb, and he just is.
He's the guy in the friend group that everyone hates.
Yes, he's the Scott Henson of the group, and the group is just Scott and I. There's two of us, and Scott's the one that everybody hates.
I am the outcast of our 2-person friend group.
Yeah. And it's like his birthday or some shit, and he wants to have a party where he can invite everybody.
I think he wants to have a housewarming party because they invaded Earth.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure. So he is going to invite everybody in the
I think in the world. First I thought it was like the apartment complex, but then it seemed
Well, I think it's all of the Boov or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
He wants to invite everybody who's invading Earth with him.
Yeah.
But he accidentally sends the email to everyone in the universe. Sure. Which means that it's going to accidentally get sent to the bad guys. I like that other
planets have Evite, because they literally called it an Evite.
And also that you could just send it to everyone in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have never made any contact with them, they're going to get your email invite. Yep. Your Evite, as it were.
Your Evite. So somehow the one girl doesn't get put in the concentration camps. No, they're not. It's
an
nice.
ethnic cleansing.
Yeah. Do they?
No, they just put them all in Paris or something. Yeah. Or is that just where they land? I don't remember.
Might have been Australia.
Maybe it was Australia.
Yeah.
Who's Australian? Rihanna?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rihanna, famously Australian.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get a beat on the girl, because like at one point she's driving a car. I'm like, aren't you like 10? And also at the beginning I was unclear on what was going on. I'm like, is your mom dead or just like out shopping?
Yeah, they kind of implied that the mom like left or abandoned her or something.
Yeah.
But like that wasn't the case. The mom just got taken.
Yeah, just the girl didn't get colonized.
Yeah.
So it was very weirdly put together. I don't think it's till like halfway through the movie that the girl's full name is revealed, which is
Harmonica Jenkins.
Gratuity Tucci.
Yeah.
What?
Daughter of Stanley. My boy, the Tooch.
And he named her after a tip?
Yep. Because he owns a restaurant. He's a co-owner of a restaurant.
That makes sense.
As the song goes.
I would go to Stanley Tucci's Italian restaurant.
Yeah. I think it's out of business now. I think it shut down.
Sad.
Poor Tooch.
Not unlike Uwe Boll's German restaurant,
which we watched,
which will not
a movie
come up again.
Live at. We should have parked in front and watched it together. That would have been really funny. Here we are, the former
Bauhaus.
Bauhaus.
So, what else is going? So. I don't even know what the dynamic is. I get like,
well, I wrote
he sucks, and
I wrote, why the fuck does she care about him?
That's the thing.
Like he's
an invader.
He's colonized her planet. He's a weirdo, a loser, and she cares so much about like making him feel good and making him happy.
Well,
he was part of the reason why her mom got taken.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the reason she has been separated from him. He's the reason that she's in a cage at the border.
Yeah.
And separated from her parents. But she seems to care about him for some unclear reason.
Because it's a kid movie and kids are dumb.
I guess because it's a kid movie. And they tried to trick me by putting a cat in there to make me like it. Didn't work. Cat was a pig. In fact, the cat was named Pig.
Yep.
She plays...
That hit too close to home is how I didn't like it.
Pig cat?
Pig cat.
She plays music in the car, and
what music did she play in the car? Would it perhaps be a Rihanna song?
Off the top of my head, was it a Rihanna song? And he starts like involuntarily bopping to the beat. At which point she says the line that almost made me turn the movie off and quit the podcast, which was then called back at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Shake your boof thing.
Shake your boof thing.
Like it was pretty close to too much. It was most of too much.
Yeah. It was the most too much close. You can handle without it being too much.
Yeah. This was almost a big problem.
It was all of Brian Christopher and most of Scott Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah. It was 3/4 of too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was tough.
That was infuriating. And then he gets too horny or something and he has to jump in the water to cool down or some shit.
I think so.
I don't know. It was kind of hard to understand.
Yeah. And then at the second mention of the evil aliens chasing them, I'm like, let me guess. The evil aliens aren't going to be evil And
it's
just
a
gonna be
misunderstanding.
some stupid misunderstanding between you. Spoiler, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. That's exactly what it was.
You don't want to ruin the movie for everybody, but
Yeah. I hate to do that.
yeah. So yeah, the whole idea is that like they're trying to get to the headquarters of, or like the spaceship, which is the Eiffel Tower, that's been it's like surrounded by a bubble or something, and that's where they're like, that's where their headquarters is or some shit. Mm-hmm. And he's gonna go and like retrieve the email before it gets sent all the way out to the bad guys.
The bad guys in space,
and they're all trying to like get. So like they have like some system where all of the other are in these bubbles with this thing connected to their brain where they're all trying to individually find out what his password is.
Yeah.
And his password is like something stupid too. It's like a full on sentence. And then he like types it in and then it doesn't work and he goes, oops, caps lock is on. And then I'm like, oh, kids are so stupid that they like, that is what they think kids like. And some kids like.
Kids and people who make movies for kids are so stupid.
Yeah. If the money wasn't there, I would never do an animated movie, but the money's there. I will never do commercials. Because of how much I loathe commercials and how everything needs to be an Old Spice commercial. But so
what things need to be is a 1999 Barks commercial.
Yes, they do. Johnny? So Steve Martin is the leader of the Boov. Yeah. And he's like, I mean, they're all kind of dumbasses. Yeah. And he's trying to stop him from, I don't know. Like the whole thing is it's literally just, why can't you just show your face, say, oh, I'm going to put my password in, so this is all over, and then like, why does it need to be
there were almost non-issue solutions for both conflicts in the movie. One is what you're saying, which is like, hey, get the fucking password. And two, with the girl, like, fucking send my ass to Australia with my mom where I'm supposed to be and fuck this idiot. Yeah. End of the movie.
End of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't understand why Steve Martin's character was so, like, anti, like, well, we can't have him show up here. Like, why? He's going to stop the thing you want to stop.
Yeah.
So why are you being so like aggressive towards him coming?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Like I don't like an aggressive come myself, but I don't know why you would stop him from coming.
Do not come.
Do not come. I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come.
So yeah, he eventually gets there. He barely gets his password in on time.
Yeah.
They then just decide, oh, you're the leader now.
Yeah.
Because you stopped the password, meaning you're the smartest one of all of us. Yeah, that makes sense.
You are the best of us.
Put the most retarded one in charge. That won't backfire.
No. But then the bad guys show up anyway.
Bad guys show up anyways, and turns out that the staff that Steve Martin's character has had this entire time that made him the king has like a jewel on it that is just full of the bad guy's sperm.
I was hoping you were going to say that. I'm like, don't say babies because they're not babies.
It's sperm.
It's cum.
It's literally cum. It is a gem that has a twist top lid that is full of swimming sperm.
Yeah, the entire next generation of Gorg.
Is that what they were called?
Yes.
Cool. And then
and Gorg actually, they're not even big scary looking.
They're inside like a robotic suit,
a slimy starfish thing wearing a mech.
Yeah. Then my last note in all capitals. When they started talking in their fake language to each other, I wanted to commit murder.
Yep.
I could not have been more vocal and physically angry than I was by myself watching the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to go out on the street, find a homeless man, and stomp his brains in because I was so angry.
Just wanted to go out in the street looking for a black bastard to beat up.
Any black bastard. I'd kill him.
I wanted to go full Neeson.
Full Neeson, even though nobody asked him about it.
I mean,
just volunteering racist information.
As far as volunteered information, some of the best.
Some of the best.
Unsolicited hate crime information.
So then they all dance to a Rihanna song, and she reunites with her mother, who was voiced by Jennifer Lopez, which I also didn't know until the very end of the movie.
Jennifer Lopez.
And then they all do some dancing and partying, and then another a seventh or eighth Rihanna song also plays. And yeah, this entire movie was DreamWorks wanting to get the licensing for Rihanna songs, and they're like, okay, look, we'll do an animated movie, you do the voice, and we're going to put all of your album in the movie. And they're like, deal.
Yeah.
That's the whole movie.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, they made almost $400 million.
I was going to say, in what way was this not a success? Commercially, yes. Artistically, yes.
Like, that hurts to hear that number. Like, it really hurts to hear that number.
I was kind of thinking you were going to say it lost money. And then $385 million.
385, baby.
Jesus Christ. Last couple things I wrote were, wait, colonization is wrong? Because there was sort of like a message with that at the end. I'm like, nah, it's cool. It's fun to travel places.
Yeah.
And take everything.
It's good to move somewhere else and bring your entire culture with you and ignore the culture
and
that's
erase
there.
the existing culture. Yeah. I mean,
what, are we supposed to adapt to where we're living? No. If I move here and I don't speak English, I should not have to learn English.
Listen,
oh, wait. Sorry. That's not what I meant.
Listen, motherfucker. If you want to keep your culture, win the fight. How about that?
If you want to keep your culture, don't just roll over and show us your belly.
How about don't get genocided?
How about don't accept blankets?
Do you ever think of that? How you can say no.
And if you hate it here so much because it's not like home, go home.
Why don't you go back home over the Bering Land Bridge, motherfucker?
Why don't you go back the way you came?
Different looking character design isn't necessarily good. In fact, it almost never is.
They were like cuttlefish or something, weren't they?
Yeah, but like the humans and aliens alike look like shit in this movie.
Yes.
Like all the designs are bad.
And yeah, like the facial structures are weird. Yeah. The way that their eyes are spaced is like they look like aliens. The humans look like aliens. I was gonna say,
like, it doesn't like a kid's movie with aliens isn't in it is pointless if the humans also look like aliens. There's nothing crazy looking about the aliens.
Correct.
They're just like purple humans.
They just have like tentacles. That's all.
It's bad. Are we cracking drinks? I'll crack drinks.
I'm cracking my Beaver Buzz Black Currant.
I'm cracking a gift from Drew, my first ever. Let's get it right here. Bear and Beaver root beer made with cane sugar and yucca root extract. I hope it's not yucky.
Juca.
Juca?
Juca root.
The root is juca?
Juca.
I don't...
Juca is also like you can use it as a substitution for potatoes.
Oh, it's one of those things.
So you can use you can make juca fries and they're delicious. Deep fry them.
I don't like juca. I think they run the banks in Hollywood too much.
I like racist Mexicans towards Jews.
You don't see it enough, but I bet they're out there.
I will concur. I bet you they're out there.
I think you would be hard pressed to go into any Latino community and not find a little bit of anti-Semitism. Well, as much as I'd like to explore anti-Semitic Mexican anti-Semitic day laborer, we have other movies to get to.
You haven't had a sip yet.
I haven't.
Have a sippy.
Oh, you'd like that.
I would like for you to have a Mississippi.
MISSISSIPPI?
Yep. You're really milking it.
For the listener, I was just sucking near the drink.
Barely touching the rim
I was
of the
not
drink.
ingesting anything. It smells good. It smells like a nice root beer. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
That's nice. Yeah. I like... There's soda with real sugar is so much better.
Yeah.
Than fucking corn syrup.
As is energy drinks.
As is energy drinks. Beaver Buzz. Oh, it's the same maker, right? There can't be two.
No, I think they're two different companies.
No way.
I think.
No way. Shut up. Fuck you. Who's making it? Who's bottling yours?
You know what?
Fatty Arbuckle. Mine Well,
distributed by
DD Beverage Co. in South Surrey, British Columbia, V4A 1K7.
I guess they are. Made with cane sugar.
There you go. Yeah, this even has the same made with cane sugar stamp.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Part of the Beaver family of drinks.
Beaver and Bear, baby. Sucks to suck that none of you listening can get Beaver Buzz Energy or Beaver and Bear Root Beer. There's also Beaver and Bear Cream Soda and a ginger beer.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen neither of them anywhere. I've just seen that one.
I saw only the ginger beer somewhere and no root beer. And I was like, well, I don't need this. And I got a proper one coming from Drew.
It's delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, you and like you guys are really missing out on Beaver Buzz. It is. It's an absolute top tier energy drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
The citrus and the black currant. Yeah. Both absolute home runs.
Yeah. And we'd send it to you, but that's the opposite of what we do.
That's not the dynamic.
Yeah, the dynamic is you send us stuff. We don't send you stuff.
No. Unless, I don't know. Well, even any way you slice it, it would start by you sending us something. In this case, a bunch of money. And then we would send you something.
You send me, just Drew, not Scott. You send me $100 and I'll send you one beaver.
That's the deal.
That's the deal.
That's fair. Well, let's talk about 2018's Derailed from our boy Tommy, starring Lance Henriksen.
I'm never calling you Tom. It's awful. You're Tommy to me.
Starring Lance Henriksen.
Main attraction, top billing.
Most screen time.
All of the screen time.
Definitely not just an old man who showed up for 2 minutes at the beginning.
2 minutes at the beginning and like 3 minutes at the end. And got a little bit of dialogue. He got like all of the like descriptive, like this is exposition, like this is what's happening dialogue at the very end, which is great. Like that's why he's the star.
True.
He might also be one of the only trained actors in the movie.
That's on the table.
Who's actually been in like big things.
I would say that's definitely on the table.
Fox's Millennium.
Absolutely.
Which comes
Fox's
up a lot.
Millennium. 3 seasons.
3 seasons. Never seen it. Seen one episode maybe.
I saw the pilot faux show.
Yeah, because it was on after the X-Files.
I believe they put it on after X-Files to get that bump.
Like, hey, here's a creepy show.
Yeah,
here's another weird show.
Yeah. And I probably stuck for most of the first season, but I definitely didn't see 2 or 3. But do I own them on burned DVDs? You bet your ass I do. And one day, I will never watch them, but I have them for when I don't need them. And that's what's important. I cannot remember the premise of Millennium. Was there supernatural or not?
Yeah,
I
think there was supernatural.
I think there was.
I think it was like...
Is it just like there's a cabal of bad guys who are going to do something at the Millennium?
Yeah, something like that. There was like...
Is Lance Henriksen psychic-ish?
I don't remember.
What's now it's research time again.
I'm just gonna put I'm gonna say my top billing. I just put that I love that Lance gets top billing, then barely appears. That happens in a lot of movies. Like especially like lower budget horror movies where they get one actor and they're like, okay, I will be on set for half a day. You film whatever you need to film, and I'm out.
Yeah. Millennium featured Frank Black. Wait, isn't Frank Black the guy from the Pixies? Am I crazy? Now I have to look up the Pixies.
Oh my god. Scott's in an autism Wikipedia loop.
We're getting deep. Well, Black Francis, but his fucking name is Frank Black, so it counts.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Robin Black of the... Well, what the fuck was the band called? They were like a Canadian band that were like bad pop punk or bad punk. Come on. Give it to daddy. Robin Black, Canadian, was in a band. Yeah. And he's a mixed martial arts commentator.
Robin Black and the Intergalactic Rock Stars.
Ooh.
Is that can't be right?
I thought he was in a band that was called like the Black something. The Poop Boys.
I don't think.
Black Bottom Boys. Except for Blackstone Bottom.
For this release, the band's name was just shortened to Robin Black.
Okay.
It's just Robin Black.
Well, good for him. I'm glad that we looked that up on CanCon portion of the podcast.
And also an MMA commentator and former mixed martial artist himself.
Yep. He works for TSN. Or he used to work for TSN.
Okay.
All right, so, back to Millennium.
Millennium
Frank Black.
Featured Frank Black, not that one, the other one.
Not Black Frank.
Not Black Francis. A freelance forensic profiler and former FBI agent with a unique ability to see the world through the eyes of serial killers and murderers. Though he says that he is not psychic.
Okay,
so he
is psychic and he's just saying he's not.
I guess.
So he's a liar. He's a phony.
Black worked for the mysterious Millennium Group, whose power and sinister agenda were explored throughout the series. Black lived in Seattle with his wife Catherine and daughter Jordan, not a girl's name. Jordan was revealed to have inherited some measures of her father's gift, suggesting that Frank's abilities might at least be partly psychic and that Frank was a liar. The first season dealt primarily with Black pursuing various serial killers and other murderers, not serial killers, just regular murderers, with only occasional references to the group's true purpose. The second season introduced more supernatural occurrences into the show's mythology, with Frank often coming into conflict with forces that appeared to be apocalyptic or demonic in nature. The final season showed Frank returning to Washington, D.C. to work with the FBI following the death of his wife at the hands of the group. He was joined by a new partner, some bitch. Despite Frank's warnings and what she herself observed, she ultimately joins the group. Frank was last seen escaping from Washington, having taken his daughter from school. After the show's cancellation, the crossover episode Millennium was made for the TV series The X-Files, serving as a de facto series finale for Frank Black's story.
Okay. Was there a Bigfoot episode?
There was probably a Bigfoot episode.
I mean, there was a Bigfoot episode of X-Files, but it wasn't really Bigfoot.
It was not. Maybe I'm going to watch Millennium. Maybe that's your new thing.
Maybe
that's my new thing.
I wouldn't mind watching it. Maybe that's the next season of the podcast. We watch Millennium.
How many episodes?
36?
67.
Wow.
Three strong seasons.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll do us for a while. All right. Next season, Millennium season.
Next season, Millennium.
Derailed. So the movie starts at Halloween.
Halloween,
which is always a trigger for me in movies and television. I'm like, okay, Halloween, maybe we'll get some good kitty girl costumes, and there actually were kitty girls in here.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, great. Here's my first two notes: kitty girls! ! 10 out of 10. Next note, no tail. Fuck you. 0 out of 10. They give and they take it away so quickly. Lance Henriksen shows up. He's so old.
No, well, yeah. I mean,
he's so old.
Yeah,
he was old in Millennium, and that was at the Millennium.
Yep,
that was 18 years prior to this.
Yep.
So yeah, good for
people get old. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I don't know. Just good for him being alive.
He's still alive now.
This was only a couple years ago, so I would hope he hadn't died since Derailed.
Well, 4 years, lots happens in 4 years.
How old is he? 100?
82.
You're so stupid. He's 81. You dumb bastard. It's a sailboat, not a schooner. So, I don't know. They're doing like a novelty murder train.
Yeah, it's ride. It's like a series of murder trains. Like a bunch of people go there, and they're like all different themed. This one's a 20s themed one. Where I wrote, everyone in the 20s was so ugly. They had dumb hair and dumb fashion. Like
a lot of derby hats.
A lot of short hair women that are like slicked down flat on their head.
Yeah, like I've never cared for
ugly,
that.
Terrible.
Yeah. Ugly.
And like all of the fashion is like lace and like way too high neck.
Arsenic, old lace, a third thing.
Absinthe.
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper, all that business. I wrote, surprise, surprise, the gay guy has a chick job. He's the head. His family owns a cosmetics company, and he's like their big sales rep or something.
Yeah. That's perfect, actually. And so they're doing like the murder mystery thing on the train, and then I watched this a while ago.
Me too. I have notes that I saw, and I was like, "What is this?"
Also, it's even if I had watched it yesterday, I don't know if it's a movie that sticks with you.
I mean, there's stuff in the movie that stuck with me, but not everything.
Yeah.
So they're on the train, and the train starts moving, and it's like the main character who we're following and a girl that she knows, like a younger girl, and the younger girl is with her mammy.
Yeah.
Who's Latina, but not black, but...
Yeah.
And then there's like the reason they're on the train is because her friend is one of the actresses on the train, and so she invited her to come along.
Yeah.
And so there's like half the train is actors playing their roles, and the other half of the train is like all of the people playing the game.
Yeah.
But they don't really know right away who's playing and who's not.
Yeah.
And they're all sort of like trying to get their backstories from each other, like who's who and whatever. Yeah.
I was trying to decipher a note of mine, but now I know what it refers to.
I have one too, and I don't know the context. So maybe if I say it out loud, you'll be like,
hopefully. Yeah, mine happens after the initial incident in the train. Because I was trying to figure out, when did this happen in the train? Yeah, I had written that was quite the magic bullet with derby hat and the two train workers, but that's on the outside of the train.
I wrote that similar note to that as well.
Yeah, it made no sense.
The note I wrote was just keep that man away from the children, but I don't know what that means.
I wonder which man.
Maybe just the conductor dude, because he kind of like seemed like an old creep.
Could have been. The conductor did seem
like a creep. And then my next note when I saw him was, is that Sir Laurence Olivier? Is this Laurence Olivier's final performance
in 2018? Derailed. So it turns into a real train robbery with like a real gun.
Some of the cast have decided that they're going to... One of their fellow cast members is wearing like a bunch of very old jewelry that her grandmother gave her that is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so they've decided like, fuck it, we're going to rob the train.
Yeah, we're going to rob our coworker and whoever's on the train.
Yeah, but they don't like the coworker. I think they make it very obvious that they don't like her.
Yeah.
And that she's like a stuck-up bitch.
Yeah. Wearing real giant diamonds in her ears. You're asking... Look what you're wearing.
Look what you're wearing. You were asking for it.
Come on.
Then I wrote, the old everyone's got a gun gimmick. Because, like, one guy pulls a gun, and then she pulls a gun on the guy, and then a different guy pulls a gun and points it at her, but then all of them are working together.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why are they pointing the guns at each other if they're all working together?
Unclear.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it gets to... So they send the one guy to the front of the train to get the conductors to stop the train.
Yeah.
And the guys conducting the train are like these two like big beefy meatheads.
Yeah, two big bears. Yeah.
So he gets up there and I
don't know what the fuck happened.
Well, my note is two meathead drivers driving the the
Yeah.
Isn't driving a train quite a difficult thing to operate?
Kind of.
You're putting these two dummies in charge?
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a big lapse in judgment.
It's like a recipe for disaster. And there's a struggle. The gun...
Like, one guy struggles with the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
While the other guy's trying to steer the train on the straight train tracks.
Yeah, and then somehow the gun goes off once and kills all three of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a magic bullet, like you said. It's a magic bullet train. It's the... what beer was Magic Bullet?
Coors Light? Silver Bullet.
Coors is a Silver Bullet. Yeah, okay, so it's Coors Light train. They're on that Coors Light train. It must be
the Coors Light train.
Yeah, the Silver Bullet. They're all werewolves. It was one bullet. It's a Silver Bullet.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. It like I had to rewind. I'm like, wait, did I look away and multiple shots were fired? Was a second weapon involved? Nope. One gun.
Grassy knoll.
One gun, one bullet, 3 dead motherfuckers.
Well, it was the train was old, and they built things to last back then.
They did.
So the bullet ricocheted off the inside.
Went through a man.
Yep.
Hit the train.
Yep.
And then went
through
through
a second man.
2 more men.
Hit the train again and
Double
ended
ricochet.
in the third guy. That's how it works.
That's actually what happened. Yeah. And I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then because those guys are controlling the train and the train has to slow down because it's coming at a curve, they didn't do it because they were dead. And
From the silver bullet.
Get this, the train derailed.
Ooh.
Also, can we talk about the title? Because the title is D-railed. So I thought there would be some reason for that, like some sort of play on something.
I know,
or involving the letter D.
I know that straight to video horror isn't exactly your thing, Scott.
So
but,
I was out of my depth.
You should never think anything is like
it was just.
It's just someone thought it was
a
cool.
Cool way.
They could have put a Z at the end. It could have been derailed.
Derails.
Like, you should never think that it's anything more than somebody who's lame thinking it's cool.
Yeah, I learned after a while not to give credit for anything.
Yeah. So I
do. Here's why I am going to give credit to myself for writing it D-railed ! In my notes. That's who gets credit.
So the train goes off the tracks into the swamp, into the water.
Yeah.
So they're all like trapped inside. Some debris has fallen and pinned a person.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of like panicking because they're like, oh, is this going to sink? Are we going to drown? Whatever. So then, me being the horror aficionado, one of the characters is standing near the like submerged, broken corner of the train.
Someone's asking to get Sam Jackson.
And I just wrote Gator. And then I was like, God damn it, it's just a fucking chud.
It's always with the chuds.
So a chud, which is a cannibalistic humanoid underwater dweller.
You got me.
Pops out of the water and drags him into the water.
Drags him to hell.
And it was some of the worst being pulled under the water by something I've ever seen.
It was.
Like, it was very, very obvious that the person getting pulled in had to do all of it themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it looked horrible. This was followed by maybe one of the dumbest lines I've ever heard yelled in a movie.
Hit me.
So the little girl, because they didn't see what pulled him in.
Was she wet?
She was not wet. She was not laying on the ground with the sprinkler coming out of her butt. She is looking out the window, out into the swamp, and she says to her, to the girl that she knows, there's something out there. Something took him. And one of the like random dumb bitches just yells, "What are you trying to say? That something took him?" She literally said the exact words, and then she repeated, it's a real escape room tournament of champions.
What are we?
It's a real like I mean, this log has like countries, Japan, South Africa. Maybe that's it? Like, no, it's not. No. You're fucking stupid. So yeah, I heard that and I rewound it because I was so mad at how that was written.
I think it might be just before Swamp Thing shows up there, because like the train's in the water and they're talking about trying to swim to find land, and a woman sees something like 100 yards away, and then there was like a debate. It was definitely before they knew there was a monster.
Yeah.
There was a debate about swimming 100 yards because he's like, what if there's nothing there? I'm like, then swim back the 100 yards, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
It's not far
at all. What are you doing?
I mean, I personally drown.
Are all of you Drew?
Can none of you swim? I can swim on my back. I just choose not to.
Can you eat on your back?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not an otter, but I still know how to.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. The debate of how far to swim, and while they're debating that, a second person gets pulled into the water by standing in the exact same spot.
That was good. I like that.
Which then I wrote some very silly arm peeling off effects.
That was funny. And is that where the arm also just gets removed at the end of it? Yeah.
Yeah. So like it jumps out and grabs her to pull her in the water.
Yeah.
Then it's like
and someone on the other end is holding
her hands.
Yeah.
And it like uses its like the thing is it's a guy in a suit and he doesn't even like.
You don't know that.
Sorry. It could be a real chud that they found under New York.
Yeah.
And they trained him to act by putting peanut butter in his mouth.
And peanut butter somewhere else. And they trained him to do another trick.
Are you a pleasure model? So the chud uses not even his fingernails, his palms. His palms go on her arms.
I guess his scales were going against the grain,
maybe.
Like the scales the sharp way.
But literally, on the palm of your hand are scales.
Peeled her entire arm skin off.
Peeled her entire arm skin off.
Yeah.
As the other girl was pulling away.
Yeah.
So she just got a handful of skin.
Yeah.
And it looks so stupid.
I'd written, this didn't really seem like it was gonna be a monster movie.
No, not at all. I did not expect it to be a chud.
I also say, another time at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's another thing you don't really expect.
So they eventually make the decision that they need to swim for land. Even though the thing has just pulled two people out of the vehicle, out of the train, and also drowned a guy who tried to swim away.
It picks off 4 people like really quick.
And then they're like, well, we gotta swim.
We should probably swim.
The train isn't sinking, and as long as they stay away from the open part, they're fine.
Yeah, I was unclear. I'm like, is the water like 4 feet deep?
Yeah, it does not seem deep at all.
The train, I don't know. Look, I'm not fully autistic, so I don't know everything about trains, but I did kind of have it in my head that they were heavy.
They are heavy.
And that they might sink in water.
Or in mud, if it's a swamp.
Yeah, like density-wise, train versus water, I would say train is probably more. Am I crazy?
What floats in water?
Poo.
A duck.
A duck.
So she weighs the same as a duck.
Then she's a witch.
She's a witch!
I always found that scene weird because she did weigh the same as a duck.
Because she was a witch.
Oh yeah, she was a witch.
That's the point.
It's true.
What floats in water? Little rocks.
Stones. No. Little stones.
So they decide they have to swim for land. So the ones that survive are swimming to land. The guy who they think got drowned at the beginning, the first guy that tried to swim away, ends up surviving, makes it to land. And then I wrote, the director really likes the stand with your back to the water and get pulled in shot because it happened again to that guy.
Yeah.
So that was 3 standing with your back to the water, doing a monologue, getting pulled in by
3
a chud.
people got Deep Blue Sea Sam Jackson.
Yes. A shark ate me, N-word.
They fucking ate me.
They managed to get to land, and then they just like trek through the swamp until they find like an old abandoned like it was hard, like a hospital or like
I could not tell you what
sanatorium or
purpose of this building
children's school, or
it could be now it could be Lolita shared universe, and it could be Frank Langella's old mansion from
in
the
swamp.
40s,
could be, which
is now fallen into disrepair,
possibly.
But there's still a good amount of child pornography in it. There was all over the walls, plastered on the walls. Somebody painted the walls. Yeah. So like they get inside and they all for whatever reason, of course, because it's a bad horror movie, they all separate into different rooms so that they can dry off from the swim. Yeah. And then the main girl and the like hunky guy that she's gay for, are in a room and they're like trying to figure out like what's their next plan. Like, do they hide in the house? Do they keep like running through the swamp? And she goes,
how long are we going to run from this thing? And I said, I'm thinking like, it's literally been an hour.
I was gonna say, you're already tired of this. I mean,
Like, yeah, like you've been running away from this thing for so long that you have to stop and stand your ground now. Like, it's been an hour.
Yeah,
it's still like pitch black outside.
Try a little harder to lose it.
Yeah, like, or just like wait a second. Like maybe it can't come on land. Maybe it's a water dwelling only.
Yeah,
and you're fine.
Yeah. Spoiler, it's not water dwelling only.
What?
It seems fine on land, so I don't know why it had to be hanging out in the water in the first place. Maybe it's more comfortable there. I don't know what their physiology is.
Yep. I mean, I know that they're cannibalistic and they're humanoids.
True.
And they are underwater.
There was a nice little head chomp.
There was.
In
the gay guy got a nice little chompy of his head.
Yeah.
Which was a cool effect because it was clearly him in a suit.
Yes.
And the mouth closed over his
whole head.
Which was actually quite clever.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, that's a good way to get around not having the CG to do it.
Yeah. Because there wasn't much CG in this.
No, it's all practical effects. Like, the guy in the chud, when you see him, is like...
It's a guy in a suit.
A suit.
Yeah.
Like, well, how do you know he's in a suit, Scott?
That's true.
Call back. I wrote a decent head chomp on gay guy.
Fun little head chomp. And then, but then, like, it doesn't kill the woman.
It kills everyone except for the lead, because obviously it's a horror movie, so you have to have the final
Sure.
girl.
But, like, it could, like, it she
very easily could
face to face with it.
Very easily could have. And it just sort of, like, was like, I'm full.
Yeah, I guess he was
like,
full.
I ate that entire gay man feet first. I'm kind of good.
Gay men, surprisingly filling.
So she
tastes great, less filling.
So she runs through the jungle. She ends up back at the train station where she's like, all like scratched up. Her clothes are destroyed. She's soaking wet.
Yeah.
She runs into like the girl who was the one that sort of was running the ride. So she sits in the office and she's sort of like, oh, like, do you have an ID? Do you have like a way to like any way for me to like recognize who you are? And then she's like just kind of freaking out. She like they ate them all. Like it got everybody. Like you have to go out there and get it. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna go get like my supervisor. So she runs out to get Lance Henriksen and the other guy who's like the maintenance guy, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, like she just came running in and like she's terrified. She was saying something got them in.
They treated her weirdly.
Oh, they treated her like she was completely mentally ill.
They treated her very weirdly. We're like, we're just going to lock you in the station while we go get Lance.
Yeah. Like you can't go anywhere. You're staying right here to tell us the whole story, you crazy bitch. So they go to get Lance, and then they're standing outside the room, the room that they locked her in. They're explaining it, and he's like, "Well, did you get her ID?" Or like, "No, she doesn't have a phone. She doesn't have a wallet. She has nothing." And then he goes, "All right." So they open the door, and she's not there. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, how would she get out? She was locked in. And then there's like a very brief look at a picture on the wall that has
it's Jack Nicholson in 1912.
And so it's a news article about a train that crashed in the 1920s.
Yeah.
And all the survivors' bodies were never found, or the victims' bodies were never found.
Yeah.
So it's I
think they found the survivors.
This train's been closed for 40 years.
I wanted to use a bigger font even. I'm like 96 years ago.
Yep.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So not only was it chuds, but it was ghosts.
Yeah.
So I guess in theory, if you're looking at it, that the creature did kill her and that was her ghost. Or she just drowned, or...
The creature isn't even real. The creature represents death.
I'm aware, but like...
What?
In the context of like her running away...
Yeah.
That like she really did get killed, or maybe they just all drowned.
She drowned.
And like, yeah. So... Wow, that bathroom's been closed for 40 years. So then, of course, like my last note is like... yes, the 1920s, where everyone used today's slang terms and everyday vocabulary.
96 years ago, ? And yet they all had modern clothes and spoke with modern cadence.
Yeah. Like, I get that you're trying to not reveal the fact that it's the 1920s.
It's really easy to not reveal it when you do everything wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that's obviously your intention is, well, if they're not talking like they
could have also,
now,
the twist could have also been this is on Mars.
Absolutely.
And been set up just as well as it being 96 years
Chuds
ago.
of Mars. I'd watch that.
Absolutely.
It was like, sure. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to ignore the fact that they all talk like it's today's modern hip kids.
Yeah.
With their...
I think one of them said, "That's so Raven."
Yeah, that's because That's So Raven was in it. She was the mammy. Raven Simone was the Latina mammy.
Maybe they were referencing Edgar Allan Poe.
Ah, That's So Mammy.
Idiot. So, and in addition to all that nonsense,
as if you needed more to be angry about.
There was so much stuff they set up at the beginning, like even before shit went down in the train car, that was never paid off. I can't remember if it was the woman or the girl who saw who had a vision of like a bunch of bugs on the plate.
Yeah.
That
what the fuck was that?
Never came back. And then a guy on the train was being super weird about missing it last year.
Yeah, that was the like hunky guy that she was into.
Never came back.
Never came up again.
None of that mattered.
The mysterious circumstances about his brother.
Yeah.
And like that was never mentioned again.
Never again. Just insane that all this stuff is just mentioned and that's it forever. And you're dumb for having paid attention to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so at the end of the day, it's a surprise monster movie because it doesn't start as a monster movie with a ghost story twist. And then it turns out that death is a fish monster.
Yeah.
Is what we learned.
What eats people.
What a fucking mess this was.
You don't need to tell me about it.
Why did you, of all the movies, Tommy, why Derailed?
Probably because he thought it was silly and stupid, so he was like, they'll enjoy silly and stupid. Or he's dumb and really liked it. Tommy, are you dumb and you really liked this movie?
No, I don't think he really liked it, but also I'm a little mad at him for picking it.
It was actually kind of an easy watch.
It was an easy watch.
It wasn't very long.
It was
on Prime Video.
It was infuriating plot-wise.
Yeah, I mean, it's poorly made.
Yeah.
But like the practical effects were actually pretty decent.
Yep.
Other than the arm ripping. The arm ripping was really bad.
Yeah.
But like the eating...
They really made up for it with the head chomp.
Yeah,
though.
that was pretty good.
That won me back for a while. You know what was good? 2002 Scooby-Doo.
Like legit.
Brought to us by Carl, who I will call by my name, Scott.
Carl Sagan?
Carl Sagan.
Carl Reiner. Carlton Banks.
I'm assuming you had seen this before at some point? I had not.
I saw it.
I have seen 0 live action Scooby-Doo.
I saw it in 2003, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it in
4,
I saw
5,
it in
6,
I saw it
7.
in 2019.
Oh.
And then I saw it yesterday.
I am fascinated about the 2019 watch.
I don't know. It popped up on Netflix, and I was playing video games.
And what am I going to do? Not watch all of Scooby-Doo again?
Oh, I didn't remember any of it. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll watch it. And like, I'm not gonna lie, Scott, I kind of like it.
I kind of like it too.
Yeah, it's fun. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah. And first of all, 60 seconds in and a white woman is giving a dog oral sex. So it won me over very quickly.
I wrote, sorry, at the beginning, you get Mr. Lava.
Yes, you do.
Singing the Scooby-Doo theme, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. Anything Shaggy is great. The next note I wrote was, one of my instructors at film school worked on this.
Nice.
He was like one of the art directors.
He was Freddie Prinze Jr.
Art director. And VFS trustee Matthew Lillard is Shaggy.
Hey, that's right.
So I got 2 connections to this movie.
Pretty good.
I like that it starts out with a rapey ghost.
Yes.
Where she's like, because they're like, it starts off like a typical, like the end of a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yes.
Where they're in an abandoned cracker factory or something, and they're chasing
Can't say that on Twitch.
Cracker?
You can't say cracker.
Oh my god.
Don't even.
I'm a cracker and I'm fine with it.
Even get me started.
Oh my god. can't say simp, can't say cracker, can't say neep. So there's a white-faced ghost that looks really good. The head looks awesome.
They do the same thing that they do in the cartoon. So I guess it's intentional, but it's still annoying because it's wrong. Because like they show this like very real looking like ghost flying, and it's got this like, not only is it straight up flying, but it's got this like luminous quality. It's glowing.
Yeah, it's an angel.
Yeah, and then when they catch it and it's a guy in a mask, like, and first of all, I was super mad because I'm like, oh, I thought it was going to be a real ghost because it looked like a real ghost in the movie. And they catch it and it's a guy. I'm like, oh, so, but then they did explain how the ghost flew. Yeah, because he had like
pockets on him,
helium pockets on him, which doesn't explain the propulsion, but
no, whatever. He had rocket boosters on his shoes.
Oh, he did have rocket boosters on his shoes. Pardon me. So they explained that, but then they don't explain how he was bioluminescent when he was a ghost or could conjure fire. And like it's all the same thing. Like in the cartoons, like it's this real looking glowing scary ghost, and then when they catch it, it's a guy in a suit.
Like a potato sack.
Exactly. Like it doesn't match.
He sewed it together in his basement in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and that was
out of women's skin.
Yeah. I mean, I liked the fact that it was trying to stay loyal to the source material.
Yeah, no,
like, I'm glad that they did
literally the same as the show.
Yeah, I know that it, like, obviously from a plot and a standpoint, it's stupid, but like I'm glad that they actually stuck to the real the source material. But yeah, so I like that when he's got Daphne and jumping, and they're like, and he's jumping around, like sort of flying through the warehouse. Yeah, and she, like, I think her first line is something like, "Can you guys hurry up and get him? His hand keeps touching my," and then it like cuts away from her. Yeah, so it's like, I like rape ghost. Oh, rape ghost. I wrote the ghost mask looks good. So then we sort of get to see like all of the characters revealed. So yeah, it's like Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, you got Matthew Lillard, you got Scooby, and then you got Linda Cardellini, who I wrote. Linda Cardellini has always been so fuckable to me. Like, I think she's so hot, even now, like as an older woman.
You like a freak and a geek?
I do.
Yep.
I think she's really hot.
Yep.
Like, I've always been really into her.
I like
her. So yeah, it follows the same plots as like a regular Scooby-Doo episode where like, okay, here's the plan. We're going to do this to this to this to catch them. And then Shaggy and Scooby are going to do this. And then of course, Shaggy and Scooby
ensue.
Yeah. Like they fuck up. They get scared. They like it's very accurate to that. The only downside to this and the rest of the movie is that the CGI just is not there.
No.
So like Scooby,
this wasn't the time for a fully CG
like
dog.
A fully CGI Scooby. Like if you had made this movie even like 6 years later, the CGI would have already been caught up to at least be like better. But this is very much a product of its own time. Like that was the best they had, and they're going with it. So like Scooby looked bad.
Yes.
But like, no, he's not the worst thing in the movie. No. There is way worse than the Scooby.
There's definitely worse stuff.
But anyways, they end up catching him by complete fluke. They end up catching him. Yeah. They reveal that it's the evil janitor and
Daphne ends up with her face buried in Scooby's tail hole.
Buried in Scooby's tail hole, which she's perfectly cool with.
She does not get out of there quick.
Then it's revealed that the owner of the factory is Pam Anderson.
Pamela Anderson, and she's also fucking Fred,
or like wants to fuck Fred or something.
They seem like an item.
She's like very into like. I mean, do you blame her? Look at how hunky he is.
Oh no,
he's a total hunk.
I would never blame her for fucking former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr.
True. That is correct. So that's that, and then at the end, the police and the media come, and they're like, hey, like, Fred, why don't you tell us about what happened? And he was like, well, I'll tell you what happened is I had an excellent plan. And so he's like taking credit for everything because he's like the mega hunk.
He had a very funny line in it. They asked him something about teamwork, and he's like, I do a lot of teamwork.
I do a lot of teamwork.
That's funny.
I'm excellent at teamwork.
That was funny. That.
So that sort of causes them to decide that they're like going to all go their separate ways. They're done.
They're breaking up the band.
They don't like each other anymore. They're gone. So then we follow Scooby and Shaggy, who are now beach bums.
Yeah.
Living out of the back of the mystery van.
Yeah. Drug dealing.
Drug dealing. They're just like eating. They're eating eggplant burgers.
Yeah. I don't know.
With a chocolate sauce and hot sauce.
They're eating each other's assholes. But I believe that is the correct burger. Yes.
Yeah. And they get a knock on the van, and it's somebody that wants to talk to them, and they get out, and he's like, oh, here's an invitation to come to this mysterious island by this rich benefactor who's like, he's running like a theme park for like spring break type thing. And they're like, oh, far out, dude. And so they go, and how like wildly ahead of its time is it that they're like vegans living on the beach in California, and now that's everybody.
Yep, like they really got it.
Yeah, it's really really progressive for their time, really ahead of it. So yeah, they what do I got here? So then they show I don't know.
Well, it turns out the rest of the team also individually got these invitations.
They've all gotten the invites, and they all show up at the airport together.
Yeah.
And so they're like, Velma and Fred see each other, and they're the ones that sort of have the tension. And then they see Daphne, and she's like too hot for everybody. So she's like, ugh, fine, whatever. And then Shaggy shows up, and they're like, where's Scoob? And like, oh, don't worry. And he's dressed.
He's a pretty lady.
He's dressed in a dress and a sun hat.
Yep.
Walking on his back paws in high heels.
Yep.
And he's walking towards them, and it's like very comical, like very traditional to the comics or to the cartoon. They then get on the plane, and I wrote, wait a minute. So you can just have like a loose cat on the plane, but you can't have a loose dog on the plane?
Well, you can't have a loose CG dog.
Weird.
You can have a real dog.
Real dog.
Yeah. You can have an actual Great Dane.
Okay. That makes more
Scooby.
sense. That makes more sense.
Scooby needs to buy a ticket.
I was gonna say,
Scooby needs to pretend to be a lady and buy a ticket. Also, he could have pretended to be a human man.
No. That's not how it works.
Is Scooby trans?
He's trans. He's the OG trans cartoon character.
The OG trans dog.
Scooby-Doo followed very closely by Daria.
Is that a thing? Is Daria a trans icon?
I think it's a thing online.
I like that.
I think it's a thing online. So then they
more fuckable. Go quick.
Who?
Scooby or Daria?
I mean, Scooby's a dog.
There you go.
He's got the knot. So they all get on the plane, and then Shaggy and Scooby are sitting together, and in walks a young
nubile
Ela Fisher.
Who
I also wrote, Ela Fisher is so fuckable, even with her terrible blonde hair. Yeah. I've always been into her too.
Me too. And I like blonde hair, but it doesn't work.
No, she's not a blonde.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Like she needs the red or like the.
It actually took me a minute to figure out she was Ela Fisher. I'm like, I know this bitch, but what's going on here? Oh, it's Ela Fisher with weird hair. What about?
Great tits.
Great tits.
Yeah, I think for me, honestly, it was like Wedding Crashers. Like, even though she's batshit crazy in that, she's so hot.
Might be the best thing she's
hot.
in. Yeah.
So
I'll find you.
So good. So then, so Shaggy's obviously like into her, so like they start chatting each other up.
During the chat up, I become very confused about just the reality, the internal reality of the movie, because Ela Fisher, who does not know, she's just meeting Shaggy, doesn't know Scooby, all that. Yeah. She mentions Scooby snacks. So Are Scooby Snacks famous?
I don't think so. I think she brings out the dog treats, and I think Shaggy says
no. She knows what Scooby Snacks are.
Does she actively
knows what
say
they're
Scooby Snacks?
Yes, because I get very confused.
Maybe that's
So I'm like, are Scooby Snacks like an actual marketed thing? Because I thought they were just edibles that Shaggy gave his dog.
I thought they were just dog treats with weed in them.
Yeah.
That both of them ate.
Exactly. Because they're trash.
Maybe the dog treats are called Scooby Snacks, and that's why he's called Scooby.
Is he named after the snacks? It's the other way around? Because I assumed the snacks were named after the dog.
I also assumed they were named after him, and I also assumed it was just a inside the group thing.
Yeah.
But maybe because they're famous,
I guess,
because they are famous.
Because the news knew Fred.
So maybe
because he does a lot of teamwork.
So maybe he does do a lot of teamwork. So maybe they rebranded as Scooby Snacks, because they were like eating them.
That I like.
Right?
There is absolutely no evidence for that in the movie, but I like that as the workaround.
I think that we'll go with that. We'll go with that unless the internet tells you otherwise.
That's the canon.
Yeah. So so they fly to this secret island
and upon immediately
LSJ.
Upon immediately arriving at the island, I wrote oh, sick, the worst Outcast song.
Yeah.
Land of a Million Drums.
Land of a Million Drums with Scooby-Doo related things in it.
It's a very goofy song.
It is a goofy song, but I wrote Outcast, man. Everything but Hey Ya is great.
Wait, is that why you wrote that?
Yeah.
I might argue
I still think it's okay. I don't hate it.
I might argue
I'm sick of Hey Ya, but everything else Outcast is
Outcast is awesome.
Great.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Outcast.
I listened to Miss Jackson 3 times yesterday. Not back to back, but just like over the course of the day. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it again.
It's a great song.
Forever? Forever ever? Forever ever? So yeah, they land on the island, and it's just sort of like all of your very stereotypical like early 2000s like college age guys, like the like
frosted tips. The
spiky like twisty spiky hair,
the full head. What a horrible.
It's got to have a name, right?
It's the
guy from Prodigy
look.
Hair before he did the Flock of Seagulls. But yeah, it's all of the worst, and like they all have like no sleeve T-shirts of shit bands, and they're wearing like bell bottom pants, and then they are greeted by like a talking tiki like creature thing,
some sort of robot
who's like, hey, you're the Mystery Machine gang, and take off a thing, and it's fucking Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson. And
I did not know he was in this, and I got psyched when he showed up. I knew
he was in it, and I think that's probably why I rewatched it in 2019. Because I'm nothing if not a beaner. So
what do you think about the Jews then?
I love how much Rowan we've gotten for this podcast. That's 2.
Heavy Rowan.
This one's a little bit less child molesty and Italian. So yeah, he's the man who runs the island, and he's the one that invited them. But he invited them to with a secret where he wanted them to come and investigate the fact that all of these like rowdy, punky, college-y teen kids come to the island like that, but then there's like a weird spell going on the island, and they all leave as like upright citizens of the world.
A little bit zombie-ish, or at least like mind-controlled or whatever.
Yeah, and they're all dressed like regular, like respectable...
They're a bunch of squares.
Yeah, like they're all squares.
Yeah.
Which doesn't come up again later either.
Not next movie.
And so yeah, they're like, okay, well, like I'm gonna be the one to solve this, and they're like, no, I'm gonna be the one to solve it. And like, no, I'm Spartacus, and like, so they all kind of like decide they're gonna solve it themselves, except for Shaggy, who doesn't really care because he wants to bang Ela Fisher, which correct move.
Who can blame the
correct
fella?
Move. So then it's sort of like a bunch of weird. You get like quick glimpses of like weird, bad CGI monsters that appear.
They're not good.
Scooby gets a phone call to meet him in the deepest, meet someone in the deepest, darkest part of the forest.
Yeah.
And Scooby goes, okay. Yeah. It's like, sure. So he goes, and it's like a terrible CGI monster that ends up chasing him.
Yeah.
Until he's like unintentionally rescued by Shaggy.
Is this where Shaggy and Scooby have a long farting scene?
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of farts in this movie.
Yeah.
Especially
this scene. And like there wasn't anything to it. There wasn't the farts are happening because of this, or the farts are a backdrop for this.
They're just stoners.
It was just two guys farting.
Stoners fart. Done. End of sentence.
It was really something. Somewhere in here, once we've seen like most of the exterior of the island and we've had a few interiors, I'm like, do I really like this set design?
It's pretty great, right?
I'm like, I want to go to here.
Yeah.
It seems really like
everything inside of that place is very cool.
The park exterior looks great. The rides look cool. The interiors of the castles and shit look fucking cool. I'm like, this is awesome.
Really, really good set design.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's great.
It's awesome. And again, it is also very traditional to the cartoon, which I really like. Like that is a big selling point for me, is that too many things that go from some form of other media to like a movie are like, no, we can't give them exactly what they want. We have to be our own creative thing, and it fails. This is like, no, people like the cartoon. We are doing the cartoon, and it works great. So now all of the different characters are investigating like the mystery themselves separately. But then when Daphne runs into Scooby and Shaggy and is sort of like, well, I'm like, even though she's dumb, but like in the cartoons, both Daphne and Velma are supposed to be kind of like feminists. Yeah. Right? Like they're progressive, like towards that, women empowerment, like we can do things, we don't need the men. This movie's kind of the opposite, where both of them are still just kind of like damsels in distress. Like Velma's still smart and she still does all of the plans, but she's not exactly like, because like they try to give her a love interest. She's still a slut, and then she's kind of like still like, oh, I would fuck this guy. I would fuck Led Zeppelin shirt guy.
Cool guy.
So she decides that Daphne decides she's gonna like recruit Scooby and Shaggy to sort of do her dirty work, because she's manipulative and a woman. And when she's trying to convince them to like help her go into this like because there's a voodoo master, a shaman master played by Bill Bellamy. It's not Bill Bellamy, but let's just call it Bill Bellamy.
A Bill Bellamy type
who convinces them, or tells Daphne like, you can go anywhere on the island, just don't go in that castle over there. Do not go in that castle. And then she goes, now I'm gonna go there because you're telling me not to go. And he's like, no, I'm serious. Don't go to the castle.
Bill Bellamy is played by Miguel A. Nunez Jr.
There you go. So she's like, you told me not to go, so I'm gonna go. And then he's like, no, I'm serious, don't go there. And she's like, no, I'm going. So she convinces Scooby and Shaggy to go with her. But this has maybe my favorite part of the movie.
Voodoo guy played DJ in the Street Fighter movie.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
Sick. Continue. So this is maybe my favorite part of the movie, where she's trying to convince them to go, and they're like, no, we're not going. And then they go to turn away, and she opens her purse, and she's got Scooby snacks in her purse, and she goes, Scooby, and he turns around and he holds up his paw, and she goes, oh, did you hurt your paw? And he's like, and then she goes, well, what about a Scooby snack? And he goes, I'm fine. But like, the turning around and like hobbling with his paw, oh, it got me so good. I laughed so hard at that.
That was good.
Yeah.
There was a point somewhere around here. There's like a throwaway like cutaway to because Scrappy got mentioned.
Yeah, that was when she was talking to the voodoo guy and sort of saying like, how did we get here?
Yeah. So Scrappy was part of the team, or was at least hanging out, and then straight up peed all over Daphne. And they showed his little dog dick, which I thought was brave.
And then they gave it a little jerk, and
They also mentioned that he wasn't even a puppy. He just had a glandular
problem. Yeah, because he kept yelling, "Puppy power!"
Yeah, like, you're not even a puppy. And then they left him on the side of the road to die.
I wrote, is there any character in the history of any form of media that you wish would die in a fire more than Scrappy-Doo?
Oliver on the Brady Bunch.
Which one's Oliver?
He was when the kids got too old and unfuckable, they brought in a new cute cousin.
This is news to me.
Yeah.
Why do you hate him so much?
Because I can't have him.
He's your Lolita or Bonita.
He's my Lolita Bonita.
He's my Bonita. Who I don't think I watched very much Brady Bunch because I'm not.
I didn't either. That's just like a reference I know.
Oh, okay.
Cousin Oliver, played by Robbie Rist. I wonder if he's fucking dead. No, he's 57 and healthy, living in California.
Good for him. What about fucking Will Wheaton on Star Trek?
I think
everybody wanted him dead for a long time.
People did want him dead. I never remember finding him that offensive.
Me neither. I honestly think it was just because they forced in a new character as if he was supposed to be canon the whole time, I think was the issue.
Yeah, and it was cool when Picard told him to shut up.
Yeah. And then called him a little bitch boy and told him to go back to his cage.
Yeah.
So they go to investigate like the big castle. And what else did I wrote here? So they're all investigating separately. Fred and Velma both get like they get the voodoo magic put on them.
Yeah. Also, there's a Sugar Ray concert at some point.
It's coming up.
Oh, it's coming up. Okay.
So they get the voodoo put on them. So now they're like possessed.
Yes.
And the rest of the gang goes to like spooky stuff happens in the castle.
Yeah.
But then they manage to get away safely, and then they go back out until sort of like the regular island where there is just a full on Sugar Ray concert happening.
Hell yeah.
And I wrote, I'm seeing a connection here between movies featuring Rowan Atkinson and full blown concerts by gay ass bands.
Very
Smash
true.
Mouth and Sugar Ray.
Yeah, this is in terms of aesthetic, this is a very 2002 movie.
Very 2002. The next note I wrote is, after getting possessed, Velma got so hot. Like, she was showing some tit.
Yes.
Her like skirt was shorter, and I was like, yeah, Linda, get over here.
Yeah.
I am into Velma.
I would like to freak your geek.
Absolutely. Then there's like sort of a then the rest of the gang realizes that they've been possessed, and that's sort of what's going on.
Yeah.
So they break into the sort of like mansion-y part where because like earlier in the movie they allude that like, like everyone's a suspect, even you, to Rowan Atkinson. He goes, wait, why me?
Why me? I asked you.
No offense, dude. Just like, you kind of a creepy.
You kind of creep me out.
So he's like, so you're going to be a suspect, and he goes, oh, okay, fair enough. Then turns out that underneath the mansion there is like a bowl full of souls.
A soul bowl.
A soul bowl.
Yeah.
Where
you got to pay the troll toll.
All of the get inside that boy's hole. That all of the other guests who have become like zombified their souls have been taken out and have been put into this bowl.
Yeah.
Including Daphne and Velma and Fred.
Yeah.
So they're trying to like help them get their souls back, but they've been possessed by these like god awful looking CGI
not
monsters.
Great. Not great.
Literally, picture the earliest CGI you can remember, and it's worse than that. It's worse than Spawn.
It is worse.
It's worse than Spawn. And Spawn was what, 4 years earlier?
I think 6 years.
6 years earlier.
96.
96. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they managed to trick them into like they managed to get them so that the creatures come out of their bodies. Then there's like a big like showdown inside one of the buildings where they all like smash a bunch of stuff and crash through windows. And
are we not going to say the cool line that Velma said when shit was going to go down?
You can say it.
Let's get jinky with it. That was almost a shake your boob thing.
Shake your boob thing.
It's almost just press the power button and
all right.
Wait for
go to bed.
Wait for better times.
Yeah. Well, it can't all be winners, Scott, but I will tell you what was a winner. So they managed to get the creatures out of Fred and Daphne, or Velma.
Yeah.
And they all kind of like team back up and they're like, hey,
teamwork.
We have to free all of these people. And it turns out that Rowan Atkinson is the bad guy.
Yes.
He's the one who's in charge of collecting all these souls, putting the creature demon things inside everybody's bodies.
And the deal was, well, sort of unclear on what the deal was, but the deal was you need a bunch of souls, but then also one pure soul.
Yeah.
And then you get all of that and you put it in you and you bring about the Darkopolypse.
Yep.
No, you didn't mishear me.
Oh.
It's not
I thought you had a stroke right at the beginning of your sentence.
It's not the Darkpocalypse.
Right.
Which is what it should be.
Yeah.
It's the Darkopolypse. You know, a play on the word apocalypse. So that pissed me off. I hate shit like that.
Yeah, me too.
Where you don't get it right.
Yeah, where you can't just call it now you don't.
Where exactly. Where there's a whole team of 1,000 people making a big budget movie to put in theaters, and not one person said, shouldn't it be Darkpocalypse?
Darkpocalypse.
But
I would have even accepted Darkopolypse.
That's what it is.
No.
And that's
Darkpocalypse.
Darkopolypse.
No, yeah, Darkpocalypse. P-A-W.
Okay.
Pocalypse.
All right. Now I'm back in.
So then they need
and Rowan Atkinson basically goes to Scooby. He's like, "You're the pure soul. You're very cool. Would you like to be a sacrifice?" And Scooby's like, "Yeah, I'd love to be a sacrifice."
Yeah, of course, sacrifice me. So they got to come up with a plan to stop this from happening and save the souls. So they all sort of like break into their seance-y sacrifice thing.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's pretty silly. Shaggy unintentionally knocks out like the big, I don't know, like Lord of the Dance, and steals his character and his gear, and then he does some silly ass dancing, and then there's like some slapstick comedy involved in that.
Yeah.
And then Fred and Daphne pretend like they're possessed, but then there's like, or Fred and Velma pretend like they're still possessed, and they do some like stupid ass dance moves, and then Fred like is such a bad actor that he can't even pretend like he's possessed, so he like openly admits like, oh, I forgot the dance moves. What's the next step, guys?
Shit,
can we go back and do it again? So they realize obviously not possessed, and then they bring in Scooby, who's on like a big carrying him in like he's a Roman emperor. Yeah. And they free him,
and they're like, hey, dum-dum, they're gonna murder you and rip your soul out of your butthole. Yes. And then
he realizes, oh yeah, exactly. And then he realizes like, oh, that's what a sacrifice is. So there's like a series of like big fight scenes, sort of. So Ela Fisher has been possessed by one of the creatures. Yeah. And her and Shaggy and Scooby kind of have like a silly fight scene. Yes. And then we get legitimately one of the best parts of the whole fucking thing. One of the henchmen is a luchador. Yes. And he fights Sarah Michelle Gellar, who obviously has Buffy training. Yeah. And I wrote, there are a couple of absolutely sick fucking lucha moves with Daphne versus the lucha dude. There was a backboard stretch where she does a front flip, so her feet are on his chest, then does a double kick to the face and does a front flip off of it. That's sick, but that's not even the best part. The best part is the lucha dude blocks a punch, puts her into a front face lock, then suplexes her up into a torture rack. Yes, that was sick. And gives her a fucking torture rack.
That was sick.
Then they do like a big like She does like a big spinning roundhouse kick where he goes over a guardrail that then kind of like it looks like a wrestling ring where he's over top of a big hole. And then she does a springboard, front flip, double foot stomp to him, and he goes flying through the hole, and she goes back out over the top ropes. It was awesome.
It was great.
Whoever wrote that part is excellent.
Knows what they're doing. Yeah, when I saw him, I'm like, that's got to be someone.
Yeah, I was hoping too.
Did you look up who it was?
I couldn't find out who it was.
It's K1 superstar Sam Greco.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he did a bit of wrestling, but he's much more of a kickboxing guy.
Yeah, I guess he had the look, and maybe
he definitely had the look.
They were just like, yeah, I was hoping it would be like, I don't know, like a lesser, maybe like a older lucha guy who doesn't do lucha anymore. Yeah. Maybe Rey Mysterio Sr.
Exactly. Yeah, but one of my notes was, oh shit, WrestleMan is Sam Greco.
Yeah. So yeah, he falls through the hole. So as they're like back in like as the fight scenes are happening, they Scooby and Shaggy smack around Rowan Atkinson, who falls, and turns out he's a robot. Then his chest opens.
Turns out Rowan Atkinson is a mech.
He's a mech.
Being piloted by Scrappy-Doo. And I will say, I did not expect the bad guy to be
Scrappy-Doo.
Actually, because he gets part of the soul juice. And I said, I did not expect the bad guy to be buff Scrappy.
He's Scrappy Rex is actually what it's called.
Scrappy Rex.
He becomes Scrappy Rex when he gets possessed.
And also, Scrappy Rex is not like traditional like cut buff.
No,
he's like HGH gut.
Yeah, buff. Yeah. He's a big boy.
Yeah. It's like that was a choice. Someone prefers that.
Someone's got a type.
Someone's got a type. Someone's got what I'm saying. Yeah.
What do we got here? They as Scrappy is like turning into this huge monster, that's when the lucha guy gets slammed through. He lands on the bucket of souls and spills the souls, which then
all the souls go back
into all the people, and all the monsters come out and then die from sunlight.
Yeah,
they die from exposure.
Yeah.
And then Scrappy sort of like starts like loses all of the power, and he shrinks back down into his regular self because all the souls are going away.
And they kill him.
And then I was really hoping that post transformation back into Scrappy, that Scooby would just eat him like a mother eating the runt. That Scooby would just go, fuck it, and just like bite down on his spinal column.
I wish
paralyze him, and he's dead.
I love that.
Like that would be awesome.
That's a treat.
So then as all this is happening and everybody's sort of like regaining their consciousness, you hear like a banging, and Shaggy goes over and opens like a hatch in the ground.
Yeah.
And out comes real Rowan Atkinson,
who's been trapped in the hatch for like
2 years.
2 years.
I said, I wrote, kidnap Rowan looks exactly like you, Poindexter. He's got like a wild ass beard, long hair.
Yep.
He hugs Shaggy and he smells like shit. And even Shaggy, who's like a stoner,
Shaggy,
is like
a disgusting pig.
And then so then they all get out of the basement, out of the underground, and they're back as being a team, and they interview Fred, and they're like, hey, like, how did you manage to do it? And he goes, well, why don't you ask my team? And then he lets Velma talk, and now they're all buddies again.
We did it.
And then you go to the credits, and it says screenplay by James Gunn. Wow.
Amazing.
That's wild.
That was my last note. Like, holy shit, James Gunn.
There is a little bit of James Gunn stuff in it.
You can see some James Gunn-ness in it.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Like, before he'd really found his groove.
Yeah.
But, like, there is definitely some James Gunn stuff in it.
You can see it. It made sense. I was surprised, but it made sense.
Yeah. And then just my last, like, kind of follow-up note is, like, I appreciate them trying to stay loyal to the cartoon, but maybe wait until the technology catches
until you
up.
can.
Yeah.
But A for effort.
Yeah.
To James Gunn and Scooby-Doo.
But, I genuinely do like it. And then in my head, I was like, there's a sequel, right?
Yes.
Like, and I had to look it up, and like, I've never seen Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Really?
I've never seen it.
I mean, I haven't either, but I would have bet money that you did.
I wonder if Rowan Atkinson's the bad guy in that one. Seth Green's in it.
Ooh.
Peter Boyle. Tim Blake Nelson. Man, this cast is great.
This is pretty good.
Pat O'Brien as himself.
Drunk phone call Pat O'Brien himself?
Yeah. Directed by the same guy. Who, oh man, the director's filmography is pretty silly.
Did you see one of the other
Home
cameos?
Alone 3, Big Mama's House, Scooby-Doo 1 and 2,
Hits.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua,
Ooh.
both Smurf movies, Show Dogs.
Oh, this is
This guy gets it.
also cameo by American Idol winner Ruben Studdard.
Nice. Not Clay Aiken, not Sanjaya.
Sanjay didn't win, you stupid.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, but anyways, I was like, in my head, I was very, very sure that there was a sequel.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, is there really, though?
Shocked you haven't seen it.
And then, yeah, I mean, there's no Rowan Atkinson. That's why I didn't see it. But you know what? I'm going to go home and watch it. Now that all this podcast watching is over, I'm going to watch it.
Good for you. I support this. Was the sequel's also written by Gunn.
Yeah. And then there's...
And I think the first one was Gunn. Screenplay by Gunn, story by Gunn and Craig Titley. Good name. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, sequel is just Gunn. So maybe it's even more James Gunn.
Should we also watch 2020's Scoob?
We should watch 2020 Scoob.
Shaggy is played by Will Forte.
Oh,
it also has Dick Dastardly in it.
Pretty good.
It's got Marky Mark. It's got Zac Efron.
All the hits. Why aren't we watching Scoob?
Tracy Morgan. Ken Jeong. This is a good cast.
Damn.
Simon Cowell as Simon Cowell.
Perfect.
Henry Winkler. Kevin Heffernan. Nice. Billy West. Nice. I think I'm gonna go home and watch. But I'm gonna. You know what?
You're gonna have a Scooby
Since
night?
this podcast is done, I'm gonna watch Scooby-Doo 2, and then I'm gonna watch Scoob. I'm gonna have myself a Scooby night.
I love it. Take a bunch of edibles. Do you have any?
No, I don't party. I do poppers. That's it.
I only do poppers.
I exclusively do poppers.
Crybaby 1990 from
Yep.
Zachary.
Yep.
Right off the bat, I love a 36-year-old monster playing teenaged Hatchet Face.
Oh, monster! I forgot to look her up. You tell me what you found out.
Not a lot. She was 36 as of the time of filming.
Yeah. And now she's fucking dead.
That's a great question. Is she fucking dead? Hatchet Face is Kim McGuire, who is fucking dead.
Nice. How long ago?
2016. She made it to 60.
Good for her.
Pretty
Does she
good.
look like a Hatchet Face?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Zero makeup.
Nice.
She's a full monster. Crybaby is like that's like
the one and only thing.
That's what she's known for. It's like her.
What was she before? Like a cabaret dancer? Or
had
something?
to be like some weird thing that John Waters found in one of his.
Are you calling her a weird thing? A weird thing John Waters found?
Yes, I am.
I'll allow
at
it.
one of his sex parties.
I'll allow it. She's the wrong gender, though.
Her two Wikipedia headings are Crybaby and its aftermath, and later film and TV appearances. So she's Hatchet Face.
My first note was, vaccines. Topical.
True. Movie starts off with people getting vaccinated.
Vaccinated for polio.
And
or AIDS.
Yeah. And it's somehow like not being politicized.
Yeah.
It's just
just everyone does it because it's what's best for the herd.
Yeah. Crazy times.
I also wrote, maybe I should. Yeah, this one should have been later than Lone Wolf. Oh well. Hashtag justice for Johnny.
Sure.
Then I don't even know what my next note is.
My next note is, a young 400-pound Ricky Lake.
Yep. Yeah. One of my notes for Ricky was... I feel like saying Ricky was pregnant was just covering up for her being fat.
You shoe us.
Like, the character wasn't supposed to be pregnant, and then they put her in costume, and they were like this is too sad. Your character has to be pregnant. Should be pregnant. My next note is just, that's a man, right? I think that might have been for Hatchet Face.
She's a nice lady,
but
Kim McGuire.
I'm not 100% certain on that.
I'd say that would be the most questionable gender one. Yeah, it definitely could have been, especially in a John Waters movie, a weird drag queen.
Correct.
Yeah.
The gist of it is it's greasers.
Yep.
And Johnny Depp is the head greaser, and his name is Crybaby. Spoiler, that's the name of the movie.
Why is his name Crybaby?
Shut the fuck up. Because everybody's got to have stupid names. They all have dumb names. Like, none of them have a real human being's name.
No.
One of them is called Hatchet Face, and that's her real name.
Yeah, but that's apt.
True.
That's the best name in the movie.
But that is her government name. On her government issued ID.
Yes.
It says Hatchet Face Jakowski.
A Polak on top of it.
I wrote, I like me a Miss Young White debutante pageant.
Oh, an Ellie Kemper type.
An Ellie Kemper type. So like he's the greaser and the cool bad boy that everybody wants to fuck. And
I for some reason didn't once write what the name of the greasers were. The other ones were the squares.
Yeah.
What were they fucking called?
The hipsters.
God damn it.
The
drapes. That's why.
The drapes.
Because it's weird.
Yeah. They wrote that all over their cars, like die drapes or kill drapes or something.
God damn it, Draper, you done it again.
So yeah, gist of it is they're greasers and it's a musical, and I hate musicals and I hate Johnny Depp. So,
but you like John Waters, so you were very torn.
Do I like John Waters?
I thought you did.
No.
Your favorite movie?
I've seen one other John Waters movie, and it was stupid.
And you loved it.
And then the Lonely Island song, "The Creep," that he's in for 3 seconds at the beginning, and that's it. He's got a good pencil mustache.
He has the pencil mustache. Is Pink Flamingos not your favorite movie?
No.
Explain.
Oh, I mean, the ending is.
Exactly.
The ending is the best part of the movie. Because not only is the movie over, but someone eats real dog poop.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no dog poop eating in this.
You know what? And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't seen his first feature, also starring Divine, Mondo Trasho.
Bet you it's stupid.
I bet you it's stupid.
I bet you it's bad. Bet you the budget is $5.
Guess what the budget is? For real, it was made in 1969. Guess what the budget was?
0.
No, the money was spent.
$1,000.
$2,100.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I bet it, as of now, has made money. I bet it might not have made money in 1969.
No, I don't think it. Yeah, it definitely has made a profit. How much that profit is, who's to say?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like the popular hot girl who wants to the cute studious girl who wants the bad boy Johnny Depp.
She wants to bridge the gap.
And her parents are not chill.
They're like, no, you're a square.
Yeah,
we're squares, and squares got to stick together.
Yeah, we're in Squaresville here.
Yeah.
So you can't fuck the super attractive hunky boy, even though you really want him deep inside you or Depp inside you. So I don't remember what the context of this is, but there was something referenced of the 3 Bs, and the third B was breeding, or the four Bs. It was at the white debutante pageant, and it was like the 4 Bs.
Oh yeah,
something breeding something, and I just wrote breeding is the best B.
A top B.
A top B
is breeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also don't remember the context, but it doesn't really matter because you can tell from it. But I did write down in quotes, I've told you, a young lady does not like to be pawed. I'm like, You're talking to the wrong young ladies because
I know lots of ladies that like to get pawed.
Exactly. Pawed off.
Pawed in.
And they I think one of the squares said about Depp maybe he wears clothes obviously designed by homosexuals. I'm like, so all clothes?
I wrote, aren't all clothes designed by homosexuals?
What are you talking about? How is that a diss?
Show me one straight fashion designer and I'll show you a liar. Everyone in fashion, movies, and wrestling is gay.
True.
I wrote, so they're like trying to be sneaky about it. Like he clearly wants to turn her into one of them.
Yeah.
And she wants to slob on his knob like corn on the cob. Mm-hmm. So they go to the making out point, the necking corner where they're going steady. And there's like a photographer.
I'm so glad you wrote down the photographer. He's in the movie for 4 seconds.
He's in for like not even a minute then, and then not even a minute at the end.
Yeah.
But I wrote, I love a photographer creeping on high schoolers at the lake. That's my kind of guy.
Literally the dating game killer.
Yeah.
Just going down to the beach.
Yep.
And offering to take pictures of women
on the hood of his car. Yeah.
I'm like, and this isn't before the dating game killer happened, but I don't think anyone was talking about it in 1990. So good on this for maybe breaking the story. Maybe this movie helped us catch Rodney Alcala.
Sounds
with it. I confused that and Golden State Killer.
Look, Golden State Killer?
Golden State Killer is no, that's D'Angelo. Something D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo of NXT 2.0. Dating game killer. Rodney Alcala. Born Rodrigo Jacques Alcala Buquar. Interesting. Don't know what Jacques is doing in there.
Maybe he's Portuguese.
And then Golden State Killer.
1977 to 1979.
Joseph D'Angelo's.
And then, wow. So holy shit. Scott, why have we not talked more about Rodney Alcala?
Oh, I love it. There's a great podcast on him.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Is it going to be our podcast? That's what you're saying? This is the great podcast?
We have a great podcast on him. Yeah, he's pretty good. I like him a lot. Conclusively linked to 9 murders. True number of victims remains unknown and could be much higher.
Wow.
And he literally was on the dating game and probably won the dating game. Like the girl picked him. And then after spending like 2 minutes together in the green room, she refused the date.
Nice.
And if she hadn't, he probably would have cut her head off.
That's wild.
It's awesome. Yeah, check it out if y'all don't know. I'm an old white woman who loves true crime shows. Well, so if you got questions, I got answers.
That does sound like you.
Yep.
Oh, there's a straight to investigation discovery
ID
movie with it's nobody. Sad. I was like, somebody good? Oh, it's Guillermo Diaz, whoever that is.
Isn't that the guy from Half Baked?
Yep.
Yeah.
He plays Rodney Alcala.
Oh, yeah, I saw Liam. Dating game killer, a true crime story.
And you've never heard of anyone else in this movie. Do you know who Robert Knepper is?
I
know the face.
Teabag from Prison Break, motherfucker.
Carrie Preston. Okay, all these people I don't know.
Damn, a serial killer movie and Robert Knepper isn't the serial killer. He's the detective. Now that's some casting.
I mean, it is investigation discovery.
ID, baby.
It's not like they're doing high level casting. They got the third lead from Half Baked.
Fair enough. Would you put him above or below Harlan Williams?
I mean, Harlan's number one for me.
Okay. Harlan,
Brewer,
Chappelle, Diaz. Number 4. Yeah.
Harlan's number 1 for me always because he talked about the dick belt.
Yep.
Regretted not picking the dick belt.
Absolutely.
And he was in Rocket Man.
all fair.
So I love the photographer. Aren't all clothes designed by homosexuals.
Yep.
I wrote, short-haired Iggy Pop just front lawn tub cleaning.
Yeah.
Yuck.
He's Johnny Depp's dad.
Yeah, he's got the worst body of any human being.
His body is disgusting.
Like, there's Twink, and then there's 50 feet of shit.
And whatever is going on.
And then Iggy Pop.
With Iggy Pop's body.
Yeah.
He weighs 85 pounds.
In the tub, he weighed 85 pounds. Out of the tub, 70 pounds.
Yeah.
He's disgusting to look at. I honestly, if it wasn't, I mean, it's not a mainstream movie, but it's more mainstream than like everything else he had done.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe we didn't see his dick.
Yeah.
I absolutely thought there would just be full
I agree.
Iggy Pop, spread eagle, wang out, like, ugh, disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, I do not disagree. While we were at the swimming hole, someone did a flawless double shooting star off a rope swing.
Oh, yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, that guy's a professional. Good for him. Well, I think also at the swimming hole, sort of at the big, like, open but covered area, on the back wall, just giant Confederate flag.
Yes.
It's awesome.
I think there's 2 Confederate flags in this movie.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't the only one. It was just the first one that I felt the need to comment on.
I got a question for you, Scott. Who would let their kids be in a John Waters movie? What kind of parents?
Speaking of the kids in the John Waters movie, there was sort of like a quick shot to shot sequence of all of these various couples doing some of the most disgusting kissing ever. And then the last couple they showed were the 2 young kids. I'm like, are they going to make these children French kiss? Because that would be the grossest thing I've ever seen.
As brother and sister.
But the boy gives the girl the lollipop that was in his mouth, which is an indirect, a transitive property French kiss.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is John Waters going to have these fucking kids back out? That's weird, John Waters. Don't do that.
Please don't. John,
don't do that.
John,
and you know what?
John, don't do it.
He didn't, and he's a gentleman.
Yeah.
Now go eat some poo.
Now go eat some poo. How, like, unless you're so desperate for your kid to be a star, or you've never heard of John Waters before, who lets their kid be in a John Waters movie?
Yeah. That's an honest question, one I can't give you a good response to.
I'm going to reiterate I feel like saying Ricky was pregnant was just to cover her being fat, because that's why I wrote that note. Then I also wrote the right one was called Hatchet Face.
Oh, yeah. And the squares interrupt the drapes hoedown at the
sock
swimming
hop
hole and start a big fight with them. But Johnny Depp is the one who gets arrested because of racism.
Yeah. And because he's handsome.
Racism against pretend natives.
Oh, I love his pretend native.
It's pretty cool. Is it pretend? Like, if you wear feathers in your hair for long enough, you become a little bit native. I think you should get a little bit of credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I just progressively start coloring like a quarter of an inch of my face black every day. By the time my face is fully black, I'm black?
That's honestly a fair analogy.
Okay.
I think that's fine. And like, what if I just do one eye, but for a long time?
Yeah.
Eventually I actually, like, what's the difference between me and a Chinese person at that point?
It's like when your grandparents would tell you, if you keep making that face, you're going to stick like that.
Yeah.
So if you keep giving yourself Chinese eyes, you're going to have Chinese eyes.
Exactly. And then I can come to Vancouver, pay 3 times over asking price in cash for a condo, and then not live in it.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Sounds like the dream.
Sounds like the dream. You're doing it right.
So Johnny Depp gets sent to an integrated prison. What?
Yikes.
Scary. With prison / juvenile hall. Unclear.
Yeah.
He's playing like a 16-year-old.
Yeah, even though he's like 28.
Yeah, with head warden Willem Dafoe.
I wrote Willem Dafoe was young.
Crazy, right?
He didn't have turkey neck. I didn't even.
Have turkey
I didn't
neck.
like it.
He was in full Last Temptation mode here.
Yeah, his teeth were still kind of straight.
Yep.
They weren't trying to escape his mouth.
They're almost out. They've almost made it. Willem Dafoe's teeth have almost made the great escape.
The Great Escape.
I actually have very few notes written after Willem Dafoe because I got so excited. But there was one legitimately very funny line. I guess. Oh no. Because someone else. Because the one of the greaser girls was kind of like a turncoat slut, right? And there's just one line about yes, him having announced his engagement to fellow gang member and known hussy Lenora.
There was a really good one after Johnny got put in prison where like all of the squares were doing like a massive conga line like through the entire town.
Yep.
Like through the woods, down Main Street, all the way to the church. That was pretty silly.
That was good. Where
I wrote so anyway, when he's in jail, and I wrote possibly an oversight that there would be a manhole inside the cell.
Yeah, they put him in solitary.
Yeah, with a roommate in a cell that has a manhole cover in the floor
that you can easily lift and leave,
which he did.
Hey, you know what? And good on him. He did it right.
And then
it's a real Robert Knepper in Prison Break.
Sure. And then I wrote maybe my favorite note. And also maybe the greatest heel turn in the history of cinema, that rat. That heel turn by the rat.
Yeah.
So Johnny gets through the manhole into the sewer and he's trying to find his way out of the building.
Yeah.
So he sees like a rat and the rat sort of gives him the old like, follow me, pal.
I got you, buddy.
I'll take you to the outside.
Yeah.
So he's like falling behind this rat and the rat like goes up through this hole. So he goes, that must be the way out. So he goes through the manhole cover and he's literally in the center of where all of the police are.
Yeah.
And then there's a shot of the rat and the rat's sort of just like,
got your ass,
fucker. I ain't helping no baddies. I'm a good boy. That was really good.
I like a good boy rat.
So then the police call like social services and get the kids taken away from Ricky Lake.
Yeah.
And the mom and Iggy Pop. And also one of the greasers was Tracy Lords.
Yes.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yep.
So they're like, we need to, they take the kids away and they're going to like give them up for adoption. So Ricky and the mom and dad all dress up like squares and go to secretly adopt them, but also just kidnap them.
Own kids, but mostly kidnap them. Yeah.
And, I wrote this and then gave up. I wrote, shopping for babies. I'd rather shop for, and then insert joke later. I couldn't think of the joke, but I was like, going to a store that sells children
a
is
gun
like,
for my mouth.
Sure.
A penis for my mouth.
A bad dragon for my butt.
Sure. Yeah, I do like that all the children were behind glass.
Yeah, like chimps. You can't get too close; they'll throw their poop at you.
Exactly. Where did? I guess it was where the square girl who was in love with Johnny, her parents were gonna do just without her knowing, they were just gonna do a Swedish exchange program with her, and then the Swede was already there, and I had a hard time figuring out if their Swedish exchange student Inga was Swedish or mentally retarded, because all she said was yeah,
and in like a scared manner.
Yeah. So
I think it was implied that she just didn't understand English and she was like uncomfortable, but that it didn't come across like that.
Yeah.
It definitely came across like she had issues.
Yeah. So that was a fun twist. And then, basically showdown at the end with Johnny and Head Square, and they have a car chicken fight.
They have the drag off.
They have a RuPaul's Drag Race.
They have a they take a man who's interested in the wrong kind of people, and they put him behind their car, and then they just go as fast as long as they can.
What
I mean, it's the right time for it.
Is there like a word for it?
There's a word. Google search pulling. No.
Google search bitch who takes pictures of babies.
Is it illegal
and
to tie a man up behind my car who may or may not like women and then drive until he's dead? And see what Google tells you.
Your Honor, is that illegal? Because if that's illegal, lock me up. It's illegal.
It's illegal.
You did a hate crime murder on a gay man, which is in 1957 punishable by up to 18 days in prison.
Yeah, and you'll get out in 4 on good behavior.
Absolutely. Or if you can find the manhole.
But don't trust the rat.
No. The rat's a Judas. And they've chickenfied. Johnny wins. Gets to fuck the girl. Ricky Lake pops out a fucking litter. And everybody's happy.
Except for me, because I had to watch it.
Except for Drew, because he had to watch a musical.
Nah, I didn't watch any of the music. I fast forward through every fucking song.
You missed some bangers.
I don't think so. I think you're lying.
This
isn't Little Shop or
Phantom of the Paradise?
Yeah.
It's not. But there's... I was worried it wasn't going to be a John Waters movie and was just going to be like I don't know why, just like an earnest 50s throwback musical. It there was still lots of John Waters.
Yeah, I mean, Hatchet Face.
And Hatchet Face.
And the kid stuff.
And the kid stuff. Speaking of kid stuff, Purgatory House 2004 brought to you by Condex.
It's just boys being boys.
Boys being boys. Written by and starring 14-year-old Celeste Marie Davis. And in the credits, and introducing Celeste Marie Davis, who you will literally never hear from again.
Oh, you don't say.
This is the only thing she's ever done. How did this come about, and why did it involve bat mitzvah money?
Did she ignore her own advice where God doesn't want you to kill yourself and she killed herself? Because I'd be fine with that.
Ooh.
If she committed suicide after this movie, I'd be very happy.
Celeste Marie Davis. Are you with us? It doesn't think she's dead. 1 acting credit, Purgatory House. 1 writing credit, Purgatory House. 1 self-credit, The Making of Purgatory House. Mm-hmm. That's her IMDb.
She didn't direct it?
She did not direct it. They wrote some poor woman into directing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
A woman director.
Cindy Bear.
Vanessa Bear.
She, she hasn't done anything Cindy Bear is more of an actor than a director.
Oh, okay.
She's in 4 episodes of Blossom.
Huh.
What do you think about that? She's also the teacher in this. She's the teacher in Purgatory House.
The teacher or the motivational speaker?
Teacher.
I thought the motivational speaker was kind of hot.
She's not.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I didn't think the teacher was hot, so...
Well, that's the director. So make your peace with it.
The first note I wrote, which I'm glad we're doing this after Crybaby, is the little girl just Hatchet Face from Crybaby?
I don't know.
Because she was also pretty ugly.
I'm telling Celeste Marie Davis.
Good, tell her I think she's ugly.
You said she was ugly. There's a lot going on in this movie.
I would like for you right now to contact the FCC, please, because I don't think
Federal Communications Commission.
I don't think they got the licensing for any of those songs.
How quickly did I write that very
Blue Oyster
note?
Cult is the first note
There's no way they paid for the music licensing.
Yeah. Blue Oyster Cult.
Not a chance.
White Rabbit, whoever the fuck sings that. Jefferson Starship.
Yep. Also Magic Carpet Ride?
Magic Carpet Ride.
Yeah.
There was one other one towards the end.
Yeah. There's a bunch of copyrighted music in there. Some were covers, some weren't. And
two of them were not.
Yeah, and none were paid for.
None were paid for. Somebody report them. Go on to YouTube.
Oh, we didn't mention that. Condex. You're lucky. You're fucking lucky you're a good tipper.
You got the good tip.
Because we had to fucking pay for this movie. A thing I never do. Not even for this podcast. In life. Daddy don't pay for movies. Movies come to daddy. Especially the movie Come to Daddy.
Yep.
Starring Elijah Wood. And
you can do it. You can do it.
Mark
Hamill. Mark Hamill.
And Elijah Wood and not Lance Henriksen.
That could be a lot of people.
But he's the guy that's not Lance Henriksen.
He's Canadian.
Philip Baker Hall.
Is he Canadian?
No. Bryan Adams. The wrestler, not the singer.
Oh, R.I.P.
Why Thomas Hayden Church? He's not Lance Henriksen, and he's also not Thomas Hayden Church.
Stephen McHattie, Canadian treasure.
Yeah, he is. He is. God damn it, he was on some episodes of Haven. That's a good one
with Edge.
With WWE superstar Edge as he was billed in the credits for Haven, which I always found funny.
Yep. Well, he couldn't reveal his real name. It was before kayfabe was broken.
It's true. It did 2014.
Yeah.
When did we break kayfabe? When did we admit that wrestling was real?
Right now, as you said it.
Oh, we did it.
Kayfabe's been broken.
It's real. It's real and it's spectacular.
She had a sick leopard blanket.
Yep.
And like pillow, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's in purgatory because she
did some drugs.
Yeah. And the rules of purgatory.
How you get there, what you can do while you're there, how you get out are all over the place.
It seemed like it was people who like committed suicide.
Yeah.
But then
it turns out it's just anyone who didn't live their life to the fullest.
Yeah, because it seemed to be mostly accidental deaths.
Yeah.
So that kind of threw me.
They're being punished for being cool is essentially what it is.
Yeah. And the premise here is that the Catholic Church made up purgatory.
Uh-huh.
And then God heard about it. Save it. Steady. God heard about it and thought it was cool, so she made it real. That is a great deal to unpack right there.
I wrote God dot she dot only a stupid 14-year-old girl in 2003 would write that.
That's correct.
Not even woke people now would write something
Someone
that
who
dumb.
just saw Dogma and got real excited about Alanis Morissette. I like that one of the first scenes was they go into like I like that it was just filmed in
the house. In her parents' house.
Yeah. They go into the main room and she goes to like one of the more gothy guys. There was a few. Like, so what are you doing tonight? And then he like rolls up his sleeve and shows all the scars on it. I was like, so what are you doing tonight? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Cut ourselves for attention. And then out of nowhere, multiple Oscar winner Tom Hanks' brother, Jim
Hanks.
We got Jim fucking Hanks.
One Hanks is better than no Hanks.
Playing 3 roles?
I don't know, 3, 4.
He played whatever the main guy was. I think Saint something. Yeah. But
Saint Francis of Assisi.
It was... and I like he was sort of like the warden of the place, and his name is Saint something, so you assume he's on like the heaven side, but then he's also like talks to Satan
Yep.
a lot.
Yeah. Remember when she dialed the phone 666 and wanted to talk to Satan?
That was fucking sick. I like that a lot.
I'm gonna smash this microphone on your face.
And then
I'm so angry.
And then during the day at Purgatory House, you watch Earth TV with an Earth TV watermark at the bottom to see what's going on there, both in present and past, I guess. Because Drew's taking all his clothes off in anger.
Continue. Let's just get this stupid ass movie over with.
She watches Earth TV and like Jim Hanks gives her assignments about it, like write me an essay.
Yeah, like find the people that are doing the same thing you did.
Yeah,
and tell me about it.
What the fuck? And but yeah, somewhere in here I wrote, I keep forgetting that her name in the movie is Silver Strand.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Fuck you.
Yeah, and then like because
actually there was a point towards the very end that I had forgotten that was what her name was.
I kept forgetting.
Yeah, and at the very end and they said it again and I was like, oh fucking kill yourself.
Kill yourself for real.
I wish she did.
And yeah, in theory the purgatory stuff is to help you like grow and become better, and that's like the point of the essays and stuff. And she says to Jim Hanks at some point, paraphrasing, but this was very much the intention, does she say it to the girl in the past when she's alive who friend breaks up with her, but she says, if I was someone else I wouldn't like me either, but I'm not willing to change who I am just to be liked. I'm like, okay, so you're self-aware that you're unlikable.
Yeah.
But you have the integrity, to remain unlikable.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know I'm shitty, but I like me.
But I don't know if she does like her.
Yeah.
She's just unwilling to change.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Which is not really a lesson. Like you shouldn't change to like appease people, but like if you suck and recognize you suck, you can change some stuff. Maybe
make little adjustments.
Yeah. And then another guy in Purgatory House. They showed him like buying drugs on Earth alive. And then, but it seemed very much like, also they're like young high schoolers. It seemed very much like a weed deal. And then later on you see him like tying off his arm. Yeah. I'm like, oh, the child is buying heroin. Very cool.
At one point, a couple of guys get into an argument inside Purgatory House, which also like they have like group meetings, like it's a halfway or halfway home or something. Yeah. But like these two guys get into an argument and they start like wrestling on the floor.
Yeah.
And I wrote, when the two guys started wrestling on the floor, I genuinely thought we were watching gay porn. Like the production value is exactly like early 2000s gay like porn would be.
The fake conflict you would have at the beginning of porn to set up the sex.
Yeah. Like then they're like, oh yeah, well fine, like whatever, I'll just suck your dick.
Fine, I'll just fuck about it.
Yeah. Like it was that's what I thought. But then I asked the question, can you fuck in purgatory?
Kind of seemed like you could.
Like, would that get you kicked out and then sent to hell?
It seemed like it was fine because also they give you all the drugs you want in purgatory.
Yeah.
You have limitless drugs.
Yeah. So what's the point?
If you can get fucked up, you can also get fucked.
Yeah. But does that mean there's poppers?
Yeah, Drew, fine. There's poppers. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. If that's what you need to hear to keep
Are there poppers? Every single scene, I can't tell if it's the actual scene, like that's what it's supposed to be, or if the characters in the scene are rehearsing a play.
Ah, yeah.
That's what every scene feels like.
Yeah.
Like the lines are so wooden It's like they're running through them for something else.
Yeah.
But it's just the movie.
And it also feels like that was the first take.
A lot of
first take, best take.
First take, best take. Absolutely.
Yeah. Moving on.
And then more fucking weird lessons about taking the road less traveled. But the road less traveled is bad in this lesson.
Yeah.
Is it because I'm like, I think taking the road less traveled is supposed to be good, but they're saying that's why they're dead. Like, my road less traveled was getting drunk on top of a mountain and falling off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think that's what Robert Frost's intention was. I think the other road is like a cool, interesting thing to go down, and not why all the teenagers are dead. What else did I have? Okay, there's one black guy in the movie.
Yeah.
Sweet. Is his hair real, or is that an afro wig?
Oh, I don't know.
It looked like an afro wig.
That was real hard to tell.
And follow-up question, if it's an afro wig, why would you make him wear that?
Because she's only been exposed to one type of black person, and that guy didn't fit the type she knew.
Was he not reading as black enough without the afro wig?
It's possible.
That was I didn't know what to.
What if he had a crew cut?
Well, how can I even tell?
Yeah.
I like how big a part of the afterlife makeup is.
Yep.
Big part.
I don't like the red Scott. I want the mocha.
She was very particular about the makeup, and I don't know, because like when you're in purgatory, like everything's sort of the same as when you died. So like it's her room from when she died, and
with her sick leopard
blankets, and the makeup she was wearing, and
when she died,
and her clothes. But like, it's not like the makeup is tattooed on you. She just puts on the same makeup every day. But it also seems like she has agency in what she does. So you don't have to put the makeup on, and it seems like you're allowed to take clothes off. So I didn't really get a grasp on what was going on there. Then we see God in drag, played by Oscar-winning, played by also Jim Hanks. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so God is a dude, but in drag, and we're calling her she. That's fine. I can wrap my head around.
That I understand.
Yeah.
I like that God was talking the hard truths, where he's pretty much like, what, do you think I give you life, and then at 14 I want you to fucking die? And she's like, oh, I don't know. He's like, no, I don't. That's not what you're here for.
Stupid
bitch.
And there was a point where they mentioned, I guess maybe it was even when she was asking God questions, and mentioned like other gods besides Christian gods.
Ganesh.
Well, here's Krishna. The thing. All the
Ares.
They were all mentioned, and then in the point where you would say Allah, she said Ali. Mm-hmm. So I have questions about this. One, did she just get it wrong because she's stupid?
Possible.
That's on the table.
Mustafa?
This is a recent post 9/11 movie. And the reason I think it might have actually been changed is because there is a scene in Scrubs shortly post 9/11 where John C. McGinley, and I have seen both versions, and you can tell one is dubbed and one is real, where John C. McGinley is yelling at Zach Braff, and he's like, if you don't do this, I swear to Allah, I will break you down in so many pieces, blah, blah, blah. And later on, it is dubbed over with Aisha. I swear to Aisha. Because we just weren't doing Islam.
You can't give Islam any credit for anything. You can't even acknowledge that they have a god.
No free rides, Islam.
You do your own dirty work.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I forgot like we weren't even saying Allah in like the 5 years following 9/11. How about that weird, it might have been on Earth TV, but how about that weird split screen where both camera angles were almost identical?
Yeah.
But not. It was two cameras.
Yeah.
But I was like, are you just showing off that you have 2 cameras?
I think so.
I think they were.
Oh, you guys think it's just this view? Well, how about slightly to the right?
2 degrees difference. Pretty cool, huh?
See, we've got both.
This almost won me back with the school shooting.
Well,
It was very much out of nowhere.
Yep.
As if you're doing it right, it should be.
Oh my God.
You text your friends saying don't go to school today.
Or tomorrow.
And then you get it done. So that part I very much liked. What was the context of this line? I put it in quotes, but I know it was not played as a joke, whatever it was, even though it was very funny. He says that though you're pretty, he'd never be with you. That's the gay man's excuse. I do not remember the context.
I do not remember either. No.
That was great. Any other bits you have on stuff?
Well, so at one point, she's on some like game show that God is hosting.
Yes, that was annoying.
And it's like her and a ghost.
Yeah.
And they're competing for
How come the guy was a ghost and she was just her?
Because he's dead and she's in purgatory.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the actual answer. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what you need to hear to shut the fuck up.
That's fair.
And so, it's like a game show where if you answer the correct question, you get to go to heaven or something.
I think so.
And the ghost doesn't even get to answer and gets banished. Yeah. Then he tells her, and I think that's sort of where he says to her, like, do you think I want you to die at 14 after I've given you life? And she's like, yes.
I think she did say yes.
And then he's like, nope, that's wrong. You lose. And then all of the credits were like lighting by God, directed by God. And I was like, it's a very NB or N or B or Neil Breen situation. Yeah. Anything with the word God was produced by God.
By God.
And then I said... And then the only other note I had was like when one of the guys is trying to, like, he wants to get out and he asks her if she knows how to get out. Yeah. But he's like, oh, can you come to my room in a couple minutes? And thinking like, oh, like we're going to fuck. Yeah. And so she shows up. He was on the bed, like playing a guitar, and I couldn't believe that he wasn't playing Third Eye Blind.
True.
Like that's what I immediately was like, he's going to be playing.
He's going to play Jumper.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then I went, why is this Purgatory so fucking lame that it's just about drugs and suicide and not rainbow parties?
Yeah.
They didn't have rainbow parties in the early 2000s? Like, why aren't they all fucking? If you could fuck...
One, why aren't they all fucking? 2, if this abides by this Purgatory rules, then all the girls should just be covered in 8 different colors of lipstick.
Yeah. I just don't get it.
That's your makeup for the rest of your life.
Get it.
Fucking rainbow party makeup.
Yeah. That's why she wanted the mocha. She wanted a brown ring so it looked like your dick was covered in poop.
The forbidden treat.
The forbidden treat. The mocha dick.
There's some weird on-screen text during the credits. Very weird.
I think as soon as the movie...
You might have dipped.
I immediately closed it and deleted it immediately.
Now, I can't give you a good reason why I watched to the end of the credits. But
you don't want to miss out.
After it goes through all the stuff, it goes like one line at a time with huge gaps in between. It goes, Purgatory houses are here on Earth. I'm still here, waiting, ... Can you see me? What? Also, the implication was not that Purgatory houses are on Earth. They're in Purgatory, adjacent to heaven and hell.
Maybe she's saying that living on Earth is like Purgatory because you're waiting to go to heaven or hell.
Oh, makes you think.
Fuck her.
And then at the beginning of the credits, it said, in the time it took you to watch this movie, 1 American teenager will have committed suicide. To which my initial response, and I admit this may sound cold, was, Only one?
I think it does sound cold, but...
Hot take. Teen suicide isn't high enough.
Okay. I mean, I'm all for thinning out the population,
Yeah.
so whatever you got to do to get that.
Yeah, if we can knock off a couple of TikTokers per hour, I don't think the world's going to be a worse place.
We need to thin out the over 70 and the under 20.
Yeah. Keep it in the sweet spot. Keep it right in the late 50s like us.
Yeah. That way, in a few generations, there'll be way less people.
That'd be so nice. Shout out to every country whose population is declining, by the way.
Japan,
a lot of Scandinavia, I think.
Yeah, a lot of Scandinavia.
Good for you guys.
Even kind of the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, UK's population is mostly immigrants now. Stay in your own country.
But yeah, so shout out to the few countries.
Australia, New Zealand.
Yep. Doing it right. Just stop. Look, I've been advocating for what seems like 20 years. Stop fucking for 20 years. Everyone. Just knock it off. Things will be great. Yeah, we'll have that gap in the population, sure. But that's fine.
The top 10: Japan, Bulgaria, Croatia, Romania, Estonia, Moldova.
Damn.
2, 4,
Shout
6.
out Eastern Europe.
Lithuania, Latvia, Hungary, Portugal.
Wow.
And then the next ones are Poland, Serbia, Ukraine, especially now, Greece, Bosnia, Albania, Georgia, Syria, North Macedonia, Venezuela, Cuba.
So Japan, Portugal, and every Eastern European country.
Yep.
Good for you guys.
That is 100% what it is. Yeah.
Shout out to the Slavs.
Well, they like to fuck, but they don't like to come.
Ah. Influencers don't want you to know this one cool trick to not having children.
It says that by
2026 there will be no Bulgaria.
I guess if you're that's just going by the size of the current population and growth.
Yeah.
But the actual decline of
Western civilization.
The fastest population decline, the fastest, I guess, the least amount of next generational people, Bulgaria is actually first.
Wow.
It's declined between 2020 and 2050. It's going to decline by 22.5%.
Sick. Everyone do that.
And then Lithuania is 22.1. Latvia is 21.6. And then Japan is 9th.
Just knock out one. Look, here's what you can do. You can do what the cool countries like Bulgaria and Lithuania are doing and just not be horny for a while. Or you can continue to be horny. You can continue to fuck. You can even continue to come inside of each other and make new children. But you have to kill 1 in 5 citizens right now.
I like it. Ooh.
That's the deal.
You specifically,
me?
You personally,
me,
you Scott Henson.
What's that?
You are not gonna like the list of countries with the highest population growth rate.
I bet you're right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, every single one of them is in Africa.
Yep.
And most of them are in the
Sorry, which part of Africa? The Ali part of Africa.
Yeah. Number 1, Democratic Republic of Congo.
DRC.
Angola, Tanzania, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Uganda, Niger, Burundi, Benin, Mali, South Sudan, and Zambia.
Damn. We're not moving out of the continent once for the whole list.
That was the whole list.
Just putting up numbers.
The highest non-African one. That's not good.
Just don't say America.
I don't think America's that high.
I've had enough of America.
Table. What do we got here? Oh, this is alphabetical. Get out of here. Grr!
Like I know the alphabet.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to go through every fucking one and be like, which one's the first?
No, I'm just mad at them for sorting it that way and confusing.
Oh, yeah, I know. I guess they're just like, this is the percentage for each country.
Why does the upside down baseless triangle with a line through it go first?
Syria is the highest.
Okay.
At number 22 on the list. So every African country
top 21
is top 21.
Huh.
Because
it's a continent on the come up, Drew. Should we check it out? Should we invest? Is now the time to invest?
Let's go. Let's not wear protection.
It's time for our African startup.
As of right now, what is the countries with the largest population in millions? Whoa. Nigeria is projected to go in the next 60 years to third. Higher than the United
China,
States.
India, Nigeria.
They're projecting India 1, China 2,
wow.
Nigeria 3. Then USA, Pakistan.
That's a lot of Nigerians.
DRC, Indonesia, Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Egypt. So Africa is going to have 5 of the top 10 in the next 60 years.
Well, they can handle it.
Yeah, they're doing great. They're doing major gains. But it's also projected that China could be one of the biggest declining populations in the next 60 years.
So I can do the eye.
You can, because you can become one of their population increases.
And sweep in and get that condo.
It's China, Japan, Brazil, Thailand, South Korea. So it's pretty much Asia that's not fucking, or they're only fucking the same sex.
It's not incest, I'll tell you that much.
It is not. Can't make a baby.
Nope.
Anyways, I guess that's the end of round 1 for today.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow for round 2 when we get to do 7.
Well, we're going to do it.
What time are we at?
I don't want to talk about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Jesus Christ.
Let's just say it's a new record, whether or not that's good.
It actually didn't seem as long, to be honest.
That's because we're so good at our jobs.
Yeah, clearly.
Can you even believe it?
Clearly.
All right, we'll catch you for, I'm wondering if I can vamp for another 70 seconds so we can be an even 3.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought you were going to say like 4:15 or something.
No, the 3:29, it's nothing. Anyway, enough of this. Later.